Okay, am I live? I think I'm live. Sorry for being late. Time slipped away from me. All right, let's go. Quick update. Today's Jedi Rich's birthday. Well, first of all, welcome to the stream. Good morning, Grace, wherever you are. It's Jedi Rich's birthday. Ben and Grace are still doing kick streaming. They did a poolside thing yesterday. I forget everybody else. There's really no VP is on like kind of a loop, but anyway, whatever. Let's just get into it with George Dorunda. Sorry for being late. This is episode 23, and I hope you like signs because from what I can see, this entire episode is about a guy who makes signs besides one reflection appearance. So anyway, let's get started. We can talk it out as we go. I do have on my Buddy Landell suit, though. Look at this shit. I got the whole suit on, too. Well, I don't have the pants on. Yeah, I knew you'd be excited about that, ATF Media. What's up, South to West? Randy. Who'd I miss? Anybody? Ember in the chat.
From anywhere we want to be, it's Prime Time with George Dorunda.
I forget every time that it has that new, like, intro.
Tonight, Sign Master Bob Simpson and that great
Sign Master. Oh no, what happened?
band Reflection. So get ready for the most entertaining show on television. Hi, and welcome to another edition of Prime Time, and I'm George Dorunda here to host it and set it off and make sure it has some talent on it. So let's start off the big program with Reflection.
Oh my god, the original Savvy Guy thing that I did that backfired and didn't turn out very well. I did it in a location very similar to this.
And Electric Slide.
Oh, Electric Slide? Well, it's only the upper fit. I have on Hollywood Hulk Hogan, like, black and white lightning, well, not lightning stripes, but like Hollywood Hogan pants. What's up? It's me. Oh, wow. Hey, hold on a second. Hey, ATF Media. I'm starting to think that these are just local wedding bands. Do you guys want me to find a local band and create do an interview with them and create see if I can do a Reflection style tribute? Ember, I don't think wearing Hulk Hogan pants with a all pink suit top is a very good fit. Maybe not for Kroger. This is amazing. Did you see those leather pants? Well, I have pants on, but they're just like, they're Hollywood Hogan type pants. They're the NWO Hollywood pants. This is definitely like the you can tell it's the wedding band version because it's just so like low energy and like there's like no oomph to it. This is the kind of music we can all enjoy, non-controversially. Well, I said that. They need some coke. Get them going like they'd be sing. She'd be like out on the balcony singing "Freebird" like Jenny and Forrest Gump. Man, how can people listen to this and not... How did Reflection not make it big? That like tells her class she's going to be performing because all the music is like family friendly. Bet she has a nice bush. I don't know. What is this? This is 91. Maybe, yeah. 90, I feel like the 90s were kind of a hardwood floor era. This is the kind of place where Flow State would end up going home with like 9 new followers. Hey, Backwoods. What's up, TJ? I was actually late because I was putting this suit on and I was cutting promos in the mirror and I lost track of time. Landing Strip, I could believe, yeah. Nirvana put this band out of business. Kurt Cobain crushing the little guy.
That was Reflection and Electric Slide. Please, if you can, come on back to the sets in a minute. We'll be here with Sign Master Bob Simpson.
All right, buckle up. We're 6 minutes in and we have one more guest. Hold a second.
We pledged our allegiance to it when we were young.
Trapezoid?
We studied its importance when we were in our teens. We sing its praises at
Flow State was in his 30s during this video. Is that true? Boy YouTuber Flow State.
every sporting event.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I have to say his. I can't be legally compelled to use his preferred channel name, but I'll use his new channel name. I won't dead name Flow State. It's the Powdered Dusty.
We display it when we
Boy YouTuber the Powdered Dusty.
celebrate, lower it when we mourn, and honor our heroes.
He was like, "Are you sure you're willing to do this?" Okay, thank you very much, sir. And then he's talking to Mark, what's his name? Mark Berlow or whatever. And he's like, "You're never going to believe this. We got Bob Simpson." And Mark's like slamming his hand on the desk and like spins around in the chair.
With it when they've fallen. It stands for what we are and what
Sorry, I'm in like booking promo mode after I got worked up putting the suit on.
we believe in. How we treat it says a lot about us.
You may not know it, but you probably have seen my next guest's work wherever you've traveled in the area. Let's meet Bob Simpson. Hi, Bob. Welcome to Primetime.
Hello, George.
I'm being legally compelled to put Boy YouTuber before it.
And it's a pleasure to be here in your shop, and you're working on something here. We're interrupting your work
Look at George's shirt.
day.
Well, we have a little project I'm working on here.
One of the more notable sign painters in the area.
Oh, wow. Bob Simpson, painter of signs of merit.
Well, been around for a lot of years. I've been in the sign business now for 33 years.
You've done everything and anything.
Just about, I guess.
Oh, wow. I think this is so that George can get a free sign for Primetime or for his lumber business or whatever. Why doesn't George Dorunda bring back Primetime and go and interview Gia Armani, the girl who chops up the firewood? If he teamed up with the guy that's cutting down if she teamed up with the guy who's cutting down George's trees, that seems like a perfect content creation what do they call it? Symbiosis.
Yeah. I concentrate mostly on truck lettering and signs I can do here in my shop nowadays, but I have done outside climbing, billboards, walls, and swing
Village
staging,
hair
motion
shaft.
chairs, the whole thing. One time.
What?
It can be
Village
dangerous.
hair
No more, no
shaft?
more. Too old for that stuff now.
Well, don't let me keep you from what
Okay.
you're doing here.
Well, what I'm working on here is an old popcorn cart for the Yankee Peddler here in Holyoke, and most of the thing is done, and I'm just making a panel here. What I've got here is some vinyl letters, which we cut on the computer. Now I'm just going to put these on. This is the easiest part of the whole job. These are pressure-sensitive backed, self-adhesive vinyl lettering. I've got it all marked exactly where it's going, so we'll set that on there.
Let's talk about the vinyl letters. Is this something new? You don't have to take a brush anymore?
Well, yeah, they've been on the market now. The computer came out about 8 years ago for making letters, and they've got a wide variety of styles and colors and sizes. You know, I can make letters
New male slut term just dropped. Yeah, village hair shaft.
with my computer from a 1/2 inch to 24 inches high in vinyl.
We were out in the car hanging out. It got pretty late, and I was like, "Hey, babe, want to see my village hair shaft?"
And it just saves a lot of time. There's
And this is a vinyl sign.
This is a simple vinyl sign. Now, I can't let it go with that. I've got to add to it to make it look a little nicer. So I'm going to hand letter a black shade on this thing.
So you couldn't just use vinyl letters. It wouldn't look quite as good.
Well, exactly. It looks unfinished to me, you know. It's, a lot of these modern shops today, they're limited. That's all they can do is vinyl lettering, you know. And that's the stuff they look like. It looks like...
Okay.
So-
Okay, so this is kind of interesting. So he's kind of like one of the hangers-on of like a kind of a dying art. Is this kind of like a parallel of sorts to AI, where you have people who are using AI like completely, and then you have people who are like recognizing like, okay, AI has some value, but they're like using it to like augment. Like he's saying he's doing the vinyl lettering, but that's only like these other shops can't give it like that human art touch.
Okay, I guess, but I like to add a little finishing touch to the whole thing. So I'll hand paint a shade on the lettering.
And that's why your work is a little bit different than anyone else's.
Well, this sign-making computer came on the market, like I said, about 8 years ago. And
Oh,
I fought it for
wow.
a couple
Oh,
of
my
years. I
God.
couldn't accept
Oh my God, I love this shit.
using vinyl letters, having been a sign painter all those years. Our suppliers tried to sell me a computer, and I said, well, it looks like a great thing, but it wasn't for me. I went down to a
You'd be standing there all night. You'd be like, man, I could really go for some popcorn, but I'm not sure what's in that cart over there.
national sign painters gathering down in Memphis, Tennessee in May of 1984.
He is the highway flare.
And I talked to other sign painters from throughout the country, guys who were like myself, who were sign painters. They weren't just computer operators. And they all already had the machine, and they talked to me about it, and I realized that I was
What a
missing the boat
boss,
by
man.
not
Is he
having one.
freehanding that?
So I made the decision right there to buy myself the computer that the salesman had been trying to sell me for a couple of years.
Was that
So I
spelling
came
my
home
name?
And, put
Is
my
this a
order in, and I
demonic
had the
thing?
machine here a week later. And
Am I Sisyphus? Do I just have to, every day I have to push the boulder up to the top and then it just rolls back down again?
I still couldn't accept the fact I just spent $10,000 on something, but I not knowing where to begin with it. It didn't take long.
That's
I
stressful
started
for
using
me.
it to help out on a lot of jobs. My
But this
biggest-
is what takes the real artist touch.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And this is for a popcorn cart.
Yeah, it's a popcorn cart that belongs to the Yankee Peddler restaurant, and it was down there for a number of years. I lettered it originally about 20 years ago.
Oh my God, that's so, oh my
for
God,
Gene
that's so
Tamburi when he ran
stressful to
the place.
watch.
And it's
Oyster
it
Bar.
just needed a good refurbishing, so we had it.
Hey, didn't speaking of Police Academy, that would be a fun segment to get Ben to do some IRL at the Blue Oyster Bar.
Up here a week ago and took it all apart, cleaned it up real good, repainted all the panels, and put new signs on.
I know, dude. I was like watching it. I was like, no way, man. Like that's nuts. And this isn't like at home, like you see on, like you see some shorts sometimes of people doing. Like this is on like this is the guy's business. Like that's crazy. It was perfect too. Every time I was just like, oh no.
On the glass. The door was missing off it. That's what this here is. This is
Never met a stroke master you didn't like?
a new door for the
Wow.
front of the machine, which I just made out of a piece of aluminum.
Nor vinyl letters.
What's your preferred stroke method? What was it that the guy said it was in one of the like Clerks movies. The guy said his tactic was half whole.
More durable than paint?
Yeah, they'll hold up a lot better outside in the weather than paint will. On truck
Swimming
lettering,
in gooch. I think
for
it does.
years
Oh
we
wow,
used a regular
Hadley Falls Fish
lettering
Way.
enamel on enamel paint shops.
Tale of the
Back
whale,
about-
whale of a show.
9 or 10 years ago, the paint manufacturers and the automobile manufacturers started using an acrylic enamel.
I think I might have. I know I've seen that backwoods. I think I reviewed it too. I think they sent me. I think AFGA sent me the disc on that. But I think I'm pretty sure. I know I've reviewed it on my website. I don't know that I did a video, but yeah, that's quite a film.
With a hardener in it, and it's great paint as far as durability to the weather. The problem is that it's such a hard surface; it's like porcelain.
Dan Lashway. Wow. Look at I'm not kidding you. Look at the letters on that. Tell me that the Dan doesn't look like it is fucking popping off the truck. That is nuts.
The lettering enamels that we've
I love art and drugs.
used for all these years
Great
don't
combo.
bond to it. They don't stick to it like the old days. It turns out that the vinyl letters will hold up against car washes and rain, snow, sleet, freezing rain, that type of thing, a lot better than the paint will.
Dave's
One of the problems
Foreign
being
Auto Service. Okay.
Is that it's opened up the sign industry to anybody who wants to go in and be a sign man nowadays. You don't
Do you think this guy did the sign for Ben's restaurant?
have to spend any time learning a trade or mastering a
What was his restaurant called? Abscess or something like that?
craft. They can go out and buy themselves a computer. They can do pretty much the same thing I can do, except for what I'm doing right here.
So an inexperienced person can get into sign making
sure.
with a computer,
Yeah.
but it takes years of practice to do this.
Anybody can use a computer. Not everybody can do this. That's true.
Well, the average guy spends anywhere from 5 to 7 years. I shouldn't say guy, because there's a lot of young girls in the trade now, too, and they're doing a nice job.
I bet he did that like in his retirement, painting like the old fire engines and stuff like that. he definitely has, like, I bet you he could just fucking freehand the whole fucking thing. Like, I wouldn't surprise me a bit. Like, what an eye from George Dorunda to not only find this guy, but then have like I mean, and there's no other guests listed. Like, this is a great get.
The average person spends anywhere from 5 to 7 years.
And I was skeptical about how much there'd be to do with a sign maker, but I didn't take into account like the shifting of technology and stuff like that. What a fool I was.
Learning to be a
Ooh, the
journeyman sign
anchor
painter.
room.
Learning all the tricks of the trade and practicing and learning lettering styles, etc.
Abyssinia. Okay.
So a sign
Yeah, that's a
painter
lot
is
better.
an artist.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But artists aren't necessarily sign painters.
Exactly. There's a lot of people I know that are fine
Fresh
artists that
fish.
don't know anything about painting signs. And also, there's a lot of sign painters I know that can't paint pictures. So
Oh my gosh, that is so stressful.
it's
to
a
watch.
trade, but it's also an art. And it's a trade like anything else. It's something you have to learn. You're not born with the ability just to pick up a brush and start painting signs. What you're born with is a natural talent, and just it's a matter of building up on that.
Mr. Rogers used to have segments like this. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but like sometimes Mr. Rogers would just like the entire segment would be like he would show a clock and then they would literally just watch a minute go by and like nothing would happen on it at all. Like George could have cut this, he could have edited this. He's like letting us see this guy do this amazing craft like in real time. And we're seeing the whole process. We're going to get to see like the finished result from that process. That's like a really great choice from George, I think.
All the sign painters I've ever met in my 33 years in the trade have all had some kind of a natural artistic ability. That's what got him interested in doing this.
If this guy was still alive, and maybe he's like maybe he's like 120 or something, but he could still do it, we would definitely have to commission him to do an EFD $306 sign.
First place.
And we're finished here. This didn't take long at all.
Yeah. Now what I'll do next in this thing, just to kind of finish the job off, I'm going to take a striping brush.
That's like one of the big dangers, I think, of like tech reliance is that you can read how to do something all you want to, but like it's a whole different world of like having it, like learning from someone who like really learning like at the side of someone who knows what they're doing. Like there's probably tons of shit now that's going to be lost in like 20 or 30 years.
I use a Scotch tape just to save myself a little bit of time on here, just to tape off the bottom edge of the letters as you can see. It just saved me that thing of cutting every letter with a brush. This was done with a camel hair lettering brush, which sells for about $15, and they don't last that long.
$15 for one brush.
For one brush, yeah. This was about $15, and depending how much you use it, and of course what kind of care you take of it, you can probably get 6 months or a year out of it somewhere in there. If you baby a little bit. What I'm going to do next is take a striping brush, what they call a sword striper. And I'm going to put a stripe around the edge of the sign just to kind of accent it a little bit.
That's something you don't see too much anymore.
Pinstriping.
Pinstriping.
Yeah.
Everybody on their cars, they're going with these vinyl stripes.
I still do a fair amount of fancy pinstriping on cars and trucks, etc.
Oh, he did
make it
look
look
like
easy.
he did his
Listen
own
to
like
it, George.
antique truck
We'll let
there.
you try it after I'm all down. I'll put 3 of the lines on. You can do the last one.
Do you really want to save this piece? I also understand you're one of the few guys left who does gold leaf
Hologram
painting.
it.
Well, gold leaf it's not painting.
It's
actually
not
gold
paint.
leaf. Yeah, I use 23 karat gold. Yeah, there's not too many to sign painters.
This is maybe to me the most important primetime segment of all time so far, anyway. Like actually documenting a dude that was like like so good at this thing that like so few people do, and it's like the whole process is completely documented. Like I can't even imagine the shit we're gonna get into.
Painters anymore that still do gold leaf work. Very few of them. The cost, of course, is prohibitive. If you get somebody who really wants to spend the money on something really nice and want to go first class and gets a gold leaf job, I've got one out in the other shop right now that I haven't worked on today. That's an old antique truck that I'm doing for Killam Truck Sale.
Yeah, I mean, if you have someone who will let you like live snipe them, I mean, they'll be able to basically the Thorpes will be monetizing like the people that are willing to watch them over on Kick. And then OPC will be able to monetize like the people who dislike the Thorpes or who don't want to directly, support the Thorpes, that kind of stuff. I mean, especially with them letting them or like encouraging them to snipe them live. Yeah.
I was down in South Windsor, Connecticut. Or East Windsor, I guess it is. So yeah, listen to it.
Nothing to it. And there we have the finished product.
Yeah.
You do a lot of restoration on older equipment?
Yeah, I do somewhat antique vehicles, a lot of antique car restorations, striping, etc. for antique vehicles. I've got a guy down in New York State.
Like if this guy was around now and could do this, like he would have like 20 million TikTok followers.
Magician. I've done a lot of work for him. He builds these antique or restores these antique trains that they use over at the Steam Museum over there in Southwick, the steam train area. And I've done a lot of work for him. Through him, I got a contact with a fellow down in Greenwich, Connecticut, and they've got a museum of
You stream snipe Love Left Me Forever and average 2 viewers.
old penny arcade machines and amusement park arcade machinery.
Thought you were hating. You know what I mean? There are people who like want to be involved in the Thorpe world, but they don't want to be in the Thorpe chat or like be known that they're there. That's what you're talking about is what caused the issue between Vegan Patriot and Janny, one of her biggest like clippers, A-loggers, was that they were like they were stream sniping her and just letting all of like her haters talk shit about her, and they were donating to Janny. But then I guess there was an issue between Janny and VP on like the money split, or there was no money split. I don't know. I'm not saying for sure what happened because I don't know. But there was an issue over the dono split in that in a live, like when your streams when she was being stream sniped.
I've done a few jobs for that guy, and the latest one was
Lurkers. There you go.
a strength test where there was a cast iron arm that came out of this machine. And you put a penny in the machine and you push the arm down, and it would check your strength on a meter on top of the machine. And it was a lot of gold leaf on it. I didn't have much to go by. He had some photographs of what the thing.
I did see that there was an issue with was it McKinsey? Someone was accusing whoever was running the Lolcow Rejects account at the time of like banning McKinsey and banning a bunch of other people.
It looked like originally.
And like whoever was running the Lolcow Rejects thing was getting like really short with the somebody put, "Oh no, McKinsey got swept," and that comment got swept. And I almost put, "Oh no, the comment about getting swept got swept," but then I didn't want to get swept.
Bought the machine somewhere, and of course it had been painted probably 20 times since it was new, and there was no striping left on it at all. It was just painted one solid color. So he stripped it down to bare wood, and he found some photographs of what it looked like originally, and it was all 23 karat gold. So I did that whole job. It was kind of a unique job. There was a cast iron figure of a man that was bolted to the face of this thing, and I had to finish that and airbrush it to make it look like a real man sticking out of the box. It was a fun job. Yeah, those kind of jobs I enjoy to do. Yeah.
Also expensive with gold leaf.
Oh yeah. Gold leaf's not cheap anymore.
What do you find easier if someone comes into you and has a logo already prepared and says, make us a sign, or just if someone walks in and says, I need a logo, and you create your own logo?
Yeah, I would rather do my own layout work. If it's a logo that's been drawn up by commercial artists, I don't mind doing it. If somebody has
I remember that distinction.
done a really nice job on a logo and just want me to reproduce it, I don't mind.
Well, it's good too for the people who like don't want to go to Kick. You can kind of keep up on what's going on with the Thorpes.
But if someone runs in with a little sketch,
like watching them live.
Problem. I run into people that come in here who are probably an A student in their 6th grade art class, and they come in with a design for their sign that they want to put it in front of their business, or the fellow bought a new truck and his kid's an art student in 7th grade, and they want to design the lettering on the truck, and they give me a sketch of what they want, and I usually look at it and shudder a little bit, So in those cases, I'd rather do my own layout work, my own artwork, with the experience I've had in the last 30-some-odd years as far as layout and design, I think
he deleted all of his
probably
comments.
More capable than the average, person as far as laying out.
That's all right. I screenshotted all of them.
Signs for his own business. I can usually talk him into it. I usually show him pictures of jobs.
I have. You never know with what. It'll be really interesting, I think, to see how Lolcow Rejects plays out. I'm like optimistic, but I'm definitely like looking forward to see how things go.
jobs I've done, and I can convince them that I can
Leave it to the
handle
expert.
well. Yeah. It causes some hard feelings sometimes. You get some people that really, get upset because they feel that their artwork that they've done is pretty good. But let's face it, they don't know anything about painting signs or doing layout or design. They
This guy's based.
just think they do, and it's usually I can talk them out of it.
And understand another unusual request you had from a magician.
Bob Yorberg he's a magician from City Island, New York, and he comes up here to have his sign work done. And
Why would a magician need signs?
well, he does shows. He goes out and does shows all around the New York area. In fact, I think he goes out of here. I think he goes down to Florida and up and
I think a lot of I read a lot of like little video game news articles, and I think almost all of them are AI generated now. There's just some phrases that pop up, kind of like how Savvy Guy has his loops. Like I feel like each of the AIs has like a loop, like words they use and like phrases that are technically correct but are just things that a human would never say. I feel like so many like video game news articles, movie news articles are all just AI now. I'm thinking about just not reading anything at all. That's what I'm talking about social media, I mean. Maybe Bob Simpson can paint a poster? Yes. Were you here yesterday, Randy, when I was talking about, I'm sure there's going to be like an infinite number of protests this summer. I was thinking about going to as many different kinds as I could and do IRL, but every time only take a sign that says EFD $306, like no matter what the social issue is.
down the East Coast doing our magic shows. And one of the ones he gave me about a year and a half ago, he brought me in a cardboard tube that he had made someplace. It was just a plain brown cardboard, and he wanted me to make it look like a Chef Boyardee can. He gave me a Chef Boyardee can, and
Chef Boyardee.
I reproduced the Chef Boyardee can into this large tube, which was
Boyardee.
probably 3 feet in diameter.
Large enough to hold a human.
To hold him, yeah.
I read a ton of books, but I mean, like, I don't really, like, what's the point of, I guess I'll just, like, find out when a game comes out rather than, like, get into the second paragraph and realize, like, oh. And if you'll notice, too, I feel like AI has a weird way of, like, burying what you're asking for, and especially if you're asking it, like, hey, I need 4 paragraphs about this. The first 2 will be, like, completely useless, like, they have no real bearing on it, and then you have, like, then you have the point, and then it will automatically savvy guy it by backing up its own point at the end, because that's what we're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to recap your overall, like, thing in the final, like, section of what you're writing, but it just feels like super fake. I guess I'll just never know when any game's coming out.
Yeah, and I don't know what the whole act consisted of, but he was inside that cardboard tube when
I'm reading actual physical books right now. I have one back there. You can kind of see it. I've got it displayed. If you zoom in on it, it's Ballyhoo, about like the early days of when pro wrestling developed like a carnival. And then I'm reading Curtis Armstrong's autobiography, the guy who played Booger. And then I'm also this isn't really reading because it's more like a fun, like just not silly, but like it's mostly pictures and shit. But it's like the complete RoboCop compendium that has like tons of behind the scenes photos and shit like that. That's all I think I have right now that I'm reading.
When he came out on the stage, and part of his act was he popped out of this cardboard Chef Boyardee can. Along with that was a 7-foot box of Crunch and Munch. And he also did.
I wouldn't be hungry for a while.
I'm not sure what he did with the Crunch and Munch box. Was all part of his magic act. And it was a fun job for me to do.
Boyardee, Chef Boyardee.
A lot better than just sitting around painting no parking signs. Those are no challenge at all, no fun. Another gold leaf job I did several years ago was for the Matador Roasted Church here in Holyoke. Steeplejack called me one day and he said he's got a cross he wants to bring in, and it has to be gold leafed. He was in the process of painting a church, and they wanted to do
I would read the John Tenta autobiography.
The crossover, which had been done, I guess, when the church was built way back in the early part of the century. And I said, how big is it? He said, it must be about 3 feet high. He said, I haven't taken it down yet, but he says, it's about 3 feet high. So I sure, bring it down. Well, when he brought it in here, it was 7 feet high. Gold leaf cross, all made out of copper, and it had been gold leafed originally, way back probably 75 years ago, and over the years the weather had taken its toll on the gold leaf, and most of it was off of there. So we had to prime it and re-gild it. And then he brought in 2 more crosses that were about 4 feet high, and then a couple of smaller ones that are about 18 inches high, and they're all gold leaf.
The Silo
And,
series?
we
I don't think
leafed
I've ever
all,
heard of that.
I think it was 4 or 5 of these crosses, and they're up on top of the church now, MD Church here in Holyoke.
So over all the years, how many thousands of signs are out there that were done by you?
Well, it's hard to say, George. I do signs every day, and I've been doing it for 33 years, so
Hey,
it's
Cape Cod.
it's hard to estimate that.
What trucks really stick out in your mind?
Somewhere out there, there's a big, beautiful sign that was hand-painted by Bob Simpson, and it says Absentia, the classic Ethiopian restaurant.
Well, I go back to
Sign
Hemmings
mania.
Motor News here, probably, which was Hemmings is a national magazine that anybody in the antique car hobby subscribes to. They all know about Hemmings, and I've done all their signs for them, all their trucks now for the last 15 years, and they've got a 36 Ford, a 36 Dodge, a 36 Chevy truck, which we did, and they've got these 2 popcorn wagons. They're built on a Model A chassis, and they use them
Oh my
throughout
God.
the country.
Can you imagine me driving around in that thing? Oh,
All kinds of antique auto shows, like Hershey, Pennsylvania, Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and they've got 2 of these vehicles. One is used on the East Coast, and the other one is on the West Coast.
I'll read if I can't get it. If I can't get a physical copy from the library, I'll get it. I'll get it if it's on like Kindle Unlimited or something. But like I wanted to read the Bobby Blaze book, and I wasn't gonna pay for it, so I either needed to check it out from the library or read it on Kindle Unlimited. But I would prefer a physical book most of the time.
And anybody that's in the antique car hobby that goes to the antique car shows has seen these popcorn carts out there.
So they can be seen all over the country.
Yeah.
Honestly, F Wood, I mean, this is going to sound really mean, and I'm not saying it because I think it's right, but unless you're out there really tooting your own horn, there'll always be the old heads that'll be yeah, I remember Bob Simpson, man, they don't make signs like that anymore. Or if you go to maybe a local thing, they have a little sign of his with a little story or something. But I mean, probably people have probably forgotten about him, unfortunately.
Other ones, well, here's one here, this Mountain Stream Spring Water. Now, I said before, I like to do my own logo, my own artwork.
But this is a case where you had to copy someone else's logo.
Exactly. This customer brought in this logo, which he uses on all those bottles of spring water and any other advertising he has. He used this logo. So it was a black and white, but he wanted me to do the thing on the side of his truck in color. So I used my own ingenuity to do the.
This guy just seems like all business to me. It just seems like he's a believer that he makes a good product. He's even saying the people come in and try to change it, and he's just no, you don't know what you're talking about. I just don't think he was probably out there promoting himself. He's probably just thought that, well, it's common sense. If I make good signs, I'll get more business. But as far as legacy, that probably doesn't unless you have a really appreciative town.
Colored center.
With all that detail, that had to be time consuming.
Yeah. Well, we did the truck in a couple of days. I mean, the truck was here for 2 days. We did the whole thing, the doors and the sides and the back. The problem with a job like that thing, the first one we did was fun. The first picture we did,
You've read maybe 7 books? Oh, no.
it was fun. The second side was, it wasn't as much fun as the first side.
Because you have to copy the first side.
And it's not as
You
much
can't
fun.
be as creative.
I don't know. I keep commenting Joe Shabatoni on the videos, but for some reason, it doesn't seem like anyone's comments come up on the videos.
The first one is creative. The second one is not quite as much fun as the first one, And then when the guy gets a fleet of trucks, and this guy's got about 4 or 5 trucks we did, and there's pictures on each one of those trucks, so I had to do that same picture all the time. After you've done half a dozen trucks with the same picture, the picture gets to be pretty monotonous, and it's not fun anymore. Only the first one's fun.
And aside
I
from
love
trucks,
Book It. Oh
what
my
signs really stick out? Which ones were some of the more unusual signs?
My family was they weren't anti Pizza Hut, but we would have never went to Pizza Hut. They liked Godfather's Pizza. But that was the one time I got to go to Pizza Hut, so it was extra special.
Well, I did a clock a few years ago for a guy who ran an antique shop over in Westfield, and he brought in
He made a clock, but he painted it so that it was the legs of a woman, and the legs would move around the clock. It's actually what got him canceled.
sheet metal clock that was an antique that was in front of a jewelry store here in Holyoke for many years. And the jewelry store went out of business, and somewhere along the line, this George picked up the clock, and it
Oh yeah, Randy. I think there's definitely like, you know, the old guys sitting around at the bar, and they're looking around, and there's like a sign up and like, oh yeah, I remember Bob Simpson. Oh yeah, he made the Cape Cod fish and chips sign. He told my brother-in-law to he didn't know anything about art.
was just painted out blank. There was nothing on it. So he brought in a pocket watch, and he said to me, "Can I reproduce that pocket watch on this sign?" I said, "Sure, why not?" So we did that. I worked on that, and I copied the picture of the pocket watch itself on this 5-foot diameter sign. And when he came in to pick it up, I worked out a swap with him. He gave me the pocket watch for the paint job I did on the sign, which made me very happy. I still got the pocket watch. And as far as pictorial work, I've got
No,
some
that's it, man.
4x8 panels here that I did.
I don't have any exciting. I mean, I grew up in like a real conservative, like super conservative Christian family, so I don't have any really like. Everything was pretty everything was pretty like centered around that.
For Spalding's that I didn't do directly for Spalding. I did.
Yeah, Pizza Hut still exists. The one, I think at least one, I don't know if we have one around here. Maybe like if you go over to like a little bit bigger city, but I don't think we have any that like have actual like nice sit down areas. They might have like some cheap tables or something, but I feel like they're mostly like pickup.
For another sign company.
Or what do you call it? Carry out.
Have anybody there that was capable of doing any artwork. Very top quality sign shop and do some nice lettering jobs, but they didn't have anybody that could do the actual artwork. So they subcontracted these panels out to me. There was 5 panels, actually 10 panels. There was 5 of different things, 2 of each. There again, the same story. The first one was fun. The second one wasn't fun. The second one worked. The first one was a challenge.
These are things
fun.
that he
The second
drew?
one was a drag.
And you did several of those?
10 of those, yeah, we did 10 of them. Well, 2 billboards, so there's 10 pictures altogether, 4x8 panels.
And like those red cups with like it'd have like that rough texture on the outside, and the stained glass lamp that barely put off any light.
Another one I've got here is this fairway sign. Fairway sighting is.
Now this is engraved into a piece of wood.
No, it's not. It's done on a flat piece of aluminum.
That's
That's
flat?
fair, TJ.
The sign was like a 2-foot by 12-foot sign, and I built it out of aluminum.
Okay, listen, buddy. Listen, Rush Limbaugh, burner account. There is a big difference, my friend, between Amish and Mennonite. There's a gulf in between. And I know for a fact that we've had this conversation like 50 million times, bro.
And I used
Always Amish.
23 karat gold on it. And by using a piece of velvet and burnishing the gold leaf at different angles, I made it look like it was actually carved. And it's got a black sand, what we call black smaltz, background around the entire thing. And if you go by there and you look at the sign, you swear the sign is 3
Yeah, it's considered a sin to stream in high definition. That's how I get around it.
inches thick, and the letters have been carved.
It does.
into
It
the
looks
sign.
like it's engraved right into the
It's
sign.
strictly a flat sign. It's just an illusion. Another fun job.
Well, Bob, thanks for taking some time out of your busy day and letting us interrupt your work schedule here.
Dude, that was 20 minutes, almost right on the nose. And dude, it flew by.
Pleasure, George. Oh, geez, I got some.
Fine work like this you don't see too often.
Well, we do the best we can, I guess. That's all I can say.
Oh, no,
I got a little present
a
for you here,
Mennonite
too.
man
Made
with
up,
churn butter, bro.
Seeing you were coming in. Oh,
Ooh, a new...
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Okay. That's it. Every one of these worlds that we visit has that one item that I really want. This is it. I want that Primetime with George Dorunda sign by Bob Simpson, and I'm going to do anything I can to make a deal with George Dorunda. I want that sign.
Primetime logo.
there you go.
Let's christen this as the
Raising Barns,
official
yeah.
Primetime logo. This looks really great. And
Good.
you just slapped this together in a few minutes, right?
Well, it's a combination of vinyl lettering cut with a computer, a little bit of airbrush work, and hand lettered the black shade on it, and then hand lettered the white and the shade down here. So it's
Give me
a
that
combination of several different techniques. But altogether, I probably got, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes into it.
It looks
It's me, yeah, absolutely. I remember that too. The one that I used to go to had like a little like arcade nook that was kind of cool.
absolutely super.
But there would always be some like I don't want to make an assumption here, but what seemed to be like either like a distracted single parent that would just let their kid like mess with the buttons and shit without putting any money in. They'd really clog up the line.
Thanks again, Bob, and stick around. We'll be back with more.
They might not have been single parents. They might have had like a spouse at home or something, but it just seemed like there was that was a place where like you saw a lot of like Pizza Hut always seemed like a place where like divorced people would meet to exchange children.
More Primetime right after this. Our new official Primetime logo.
What the fuck?
When I first got my license, every time I left the house, my parents would say, "Remember to buckle up, dear." But I never did.
For now, he has it for now.
Just didn't seem too cool. Besides,
Well, I can't get it by next Friday.
most of the time I was only going around
I gotta figure. I'm okay. I know George Dorunda's on LinkedIn. I'll try to figure out how to contact him from LinkedIn and see if he's still got the sign.
the block. You know how parents are. Always telling you what to do. But you know what? I wish I'd listened. I really do.
Time for prime time.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we're all out of videotape. We have to leave the air. Good night, everybody.
We're out of videotape. I think he might be dead. I mean, George is alive, but he's got to be... What do you think? George is at least in his 30s here, right? So he's pushing like mid to late 60s. I guess really him passing it to me only keeps it like, well, I'll have to find, hopefully someone will find my videos in 20 years of me watching Primetime and then be like, wow, I'd like to have that sign. And then they can come find me at the, at the old folks home, and I'll give them the key to the storage unit. I'd like to know from George how often this aired. It did not air. I do not believe it aired weekly, because we're seeing the numbers on the shows. We're seeing like the sequential numbers. And like I think we talked about it, but in 1990 I think there were 15 episodes. So I'm curious if there was any kind of like rhyme or reason for when the show aired, or it was just like whenever he had a tape ready and had the money maybe to put it on the public access, or however it worked. There is a public access station like about an hour from me, but I don't know if you have to if you have to live there to use it or not. Getting high at the old folks' home, chill stream, yeah. And then whenever I die, no one will come to my funeral, but Grace will come and just put the Jaws hat on top of the unmarked grave. Would I interview Dorunda? Of course. I try to, anybody that we watch regularly, I try to at least like pop into their comments, and like Vinny Slugga, the guy who does all the strange videos, he watches this channel now. I saw him listed on the they show you like a little picture of like all of the I think like heavy viewers of your stream or something, and Vinny Slugga was on there. But I try to at least like reach out, make some kind of contact with him. So I've tried, but I'm gonna have to actually like look him up on LinkedIn, I think, to get a hold of him. If I have the ability and like it's feasible to do, I'll talk to anybody. I don't care. Like if they have an interesting story. I would rather do like in-person interviews though, because it's hard to like Zoom interviews suck, I think. Genie was sung. Okay, this is prime time, number 24, The Entertainers. B-Ball Hall. Oh my god, B-Ball Hall, Desserts, and the EFO. That'll be good. I'm interested in B-Ball Hall. Okay, okay, what do you think? Is B-Ball Hall like a location? Like, hey, this is the hall where we play B-Ball? Or is it a guy named Hall who's so good at something that he's called B-Ball Hall? Thanks, Rush Limbaugh. What a tribute. Daninsky, I don't know. I don't think I need a eulogy. Oh, the Basketball Hall of Fame. Well, see, you guys are right on top of it. I'm like a caveman surrounded by scientists in terms of New England knowledge.
From anywhere we want to be, it's prime time with George Dorunda. Tonight, EFO, the Eddie Foreman Orchestra, the Entertainers, will be visiting the Basketball Hall of Fame, and we'll be tasting fabulous desserts at the International Dessert Festival. So get ready for the most entertaining show on television.
Here we go. B-Ball.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to Prime.
Yeah, that's how I found George Dorunda, Backwoods Squatch. The algorithm kept sending me the interview with George the Animal Steele, and I thought it was just a regular shoot interview. And he doesn't really seem like someone who would be very honest about the business, because he wasn't really like, you know, known for doing shoot interviews. And I didn't realize it was like an actual interview, but it kept sending it, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I clicked on it. And then I was like, okay. And then I clicked on the account and I was like, oh my God, 90 some episodes of this old public access show or whatever. I was like, yeah.
Time. And let me tell you, this show is gonna knock your socks off. That's right, you're gonna be sitting there at home without socks on in a couple of minutes. I can't electronically explain how that happens, but you're gonna be sitting at home without socks on. I just know it. So let's get the show underway with EFO, the Eddie Foreman Orchestra, and Going Back.
Across a picture just the other day, playing at the barn, it seemed like yesterday.
Do you ever think about where I would be without the holy algorithm? I'd probably just be playing Diablo.
It made me start to think of those good times we all had. Those days have slipped away on us, it makes me feel real sad. We started out on Friday night, White Eagle Hall was full. We danced to
The Thorpes were kind of the same way. They kept putting the I don't know who was making it, but it kept putting like I think it was from RD there, but I never watched the video, but the picture was like of Grace, and it was like, what is Grace Thorpe capable of? But I never clicked on it because it looks like a lot of the stuff I saw looked really corny.
Those days that I remember still fresh upon my mind. I wish that I could bring them back just for one more time. Why did those good old days go by us? Where all our friends would come to meet and share in the good times. How did those good old days slip by us? I wish we all could go back there just for one more time. from me and see how much has changed.
If they had Bob Simpson do their logo, we would know they were in fact EFO, and there would be no doubt as to what that letter was.
Local guys still trying to get a break their way. I hope you won't forget us as good on any day. Polkas are a part of life I hope won't go.
Well, and he's kept in like only certain commercials. You know what I mean? Like it's the stuff that's kind of either public, like it's a government video, or it's like one of somebody that's been on the show. Like the one of the girl on the beach was made by that cop that he interviewed that one time. So I don't know. Again, I'd be interested to ask him like whatever happened to like the if there were like masters.
Away, why did those good old days go by us? Where all our friends would come to eat and share.
Erod, what do you mean?
In the good times, how did those good old days slip by us? I wish we all could go back there just for one more time.
I've got it time stamped. I'm gonna post. I think the main clip I want from that encounter was the pool game. I thought that was kind of that's like a nice little like summary clip. And the argument over whether he gave her the hat or not.
That was EFO and Going Back. And when we return, we'll be visiting the Basketball Hall of Fame. The fun begins now.
When I first got my license, every time I left the house, my parents would say, "Remember to buckle up, dear." But I never did. Just didn't seem too cool. Besides, most of the time I was only going around the block.
What's up, Cody Turbo?
You know how parents are. Always telling you what to do. But you know what? I wish I'd listened. I really do.
Yes, we're here at the Basketball Hall of Fame right here in downtown Springfield, where you can learn absolutely anything you'd want to know about the game, everything from the early days of the game up to today's great superstars. Hey, let's go.
Oh, wow. You were aggressively panhandled there? Oh man, King TL would he would just collapse. He'd be like, oh my god, all these shoes. mean, this is pretty nice. What do you think? Could this kind of could a new primetime even work in the modern era? Can a primetime reboot work during the fall of America?
And who says the Hall of Fame isn't really hands-on? Hey, this looks easy. Piece of cake.
Oh no, listen.
See, Mark?
Listen, Erod, you don't want to find out like it's me. You know, first it's $2 for bus fare, then it's you need a bus ticket and you need a hotel room, and before you know it, you're $306.17 down the drain.
It's easy. Here, you try. And we're going to wind up our visit here to the Basketball Hall of Fame with Jerry Healy.
Hey, it's so nice to see you. Welcome.
Jerry, it's nice of you to invite us down here.
It's a great place, isn't it?
I'll tell you, we couldn't even show the viewers not even 1% of what's available here in this short segment.
It's amazing what a difference between the original Hall of Fame was on the Springfield College campus.
Yeah, Daninsky, I agree. I'm trying to bring together all these things. I just got to go. I got to reactivate my PO box, and then I got to reach out to Grace and Ruby.
We're here. We've come to life, and there's something for everybody, whether you're a basketball fan or not. There's something for everybody.
Ruby was going to donate a Lowell Angels hat, and then Grace said that if somebody paid for shipping, then she would send the Hooplandia shoes.
One here, including a shootout.
Hands-on,
Right.
but as I said at the top of the interview, you
Mickey
can learn
Dolan?
just about anything and everything about the game of basketball.
From that first day of December of 1891 and right through to Larry Bird's 20,000 point the other night. And we're going to be celebrating our anniversary, the centennial. We goes from January of 91 through the Olympics of August of 92, so a 20-month celebration for centennial basketball.
That is a hell of a party.
All over the world, too.
All over the world.
180 nations will be celebrating with us.
And I'm sure you'll have many special events here at the Hall of Fame.
I would say that people should keep their eyes open for next December when we have the World Congress of
Listen, keep your eyes open for 18 months from now.
Basketball coming to Springfield, Massachusetts. That'll be December 19th.
Have you ever heard of Hooplandia? This thing's going to make Hooplandia look like kids play.
20th and 21st. We'll have the Texas-Tennessee women's basketball game, the Harlem Globetrotters, and the FIBA, the World Congress, which is the International Basketball Federation. So it'd be like the United Nations coming to Springfield.
Truly a festival.
Maybe OPC Don will donate some of his illegal license plates.
You got it.
Now, after going through the entire Hall of Fame, I have my favorites. What do most of the people like?
Most of the people do get involved with our shooting.
I think Get Cracked for Me is who she said had to pay for the shipping. Well, I think she just meant anybody would pay for it.
And they enjoyed the competition of shooting, trying their skills, so to speak, at scoring baskets at different heights. The gift shop proves exceptionally popular, and one of the many advantages we have of any basketball.
If there's a conflict of interest, then I'm willing to negotiate for the NCO. That would be a good replacement item.
Fan, they can join an annual membership program we have here, and it puts them on the inside track. And they learn of all the events before they actually happen, before they're made public.
And do you have extended hours all year round?
Well, the extension is we're only closed 3
Just tell them you don't carry cash. Just blow a whistle like Bert did.
days a year. That's Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. We're open every single day from
Turtle
9 to 5.
shells.
And of course, the
Spin in the
convenience of
car.
being located at Interstate 91 is a tremendous asset for us.
You don't get much of a vacation, do you?
I look forward to vacations.
3 days a year. It keeps you...
How in the world, especially when you're a sovereign citizen, how do you make it to OPC Don's age and not know that you can't just put whatever, that you can't just be swapping license plates? How did he not know that?
Very busy.
We talk about R&R, huh?
Well, Jerry, thanks again for having us
Been a
over
pleasure.
here.
Come back anytime. Bring all your fans with you.
Oh, we certainly will.
Great.
Hey, stick around.
Hey, listen, we're dying here, George. Can you bring some people out here? Can you help me out?
We'll be back with more prime time right after this.
Yeah, OPC Don, in order to evade doxers, had been just swapping license plates on vehicles as he traveled. And I guess he finally had a run-in where the cops, like, told him he wasn't allowed to do that. Then what's the... I agree. I mean, I don't know how he couldn't have known. But why would he lie to us about not knowing? Or, like, act like he was surprised by it or something. It makes him look really dumb. So if he's doing that intentionally, is he trying to, like, slow play everybody or what? What a character. I completely agree, Ananje. I was just thinking that, like, I'm glad that he did this segment the way that he did, because it, like, let you see, like, I think from this video whether or not you want to go visit this Hall of Fame, but then you do get to hear a little bit about it from the guy in charge, but it's not like they were going, like, I couldn't have spent 20 minutes here, I don't think. Maybe in person. Can you imagine me talking to one of these museum people and they just walk with me through the whole thing and I ask them all my, like, dumb questions?
We pledged our allegiance to it when we were young. We studied its importance when we were in our teens. We sing its praises at every sporting event. We display it when we celebrate, lower it when we mourn, and honor our heroes with it when they've fallen. It stands for what we are and what we believe in. How we treat it says a lot about us.
Yes, we're back with more prime time, and recently we visited the International Dessert Festival, and let me tell you, everything was in.
Like, what do you think if you want to meet with like a state's, I'm talking about like a state level senator or a state level congressperson? Do you think you can just walk in? Like, I know you can't be guaranteed all the time, but do you think there's a chance you can just walk in and like that you can talk to them?
In good taste. We're here with Roger, and what do we have here?
Well, I'm a cookie and pastry distributor with Toll House Restaurant. I also have Rose's Fudge.
Oh.
And we have samples of the different type of cookies.
Now, are these the original Toll House cookies?
This is the original Toll House cookie, which started 50 years ago at the Toll House Restaurant in Abington, Whitman area, and we are a distributor for Toll House Bakery.
Has anything changed in the recipe?
No, it's the same recipe
Distributor for Toll House? Like, that's a big company, right?
that they've had over the last 50 years, and they've kept it very secret.
Well, I'll be the judge of that if you don't mind.
He is trying oatmeal raisin, and there are no palm oils, and they're all natural ingredients.
No
so
palm oil.
It is a quality cookie, which is, quote, good for you.
Well, what do you think would be good to wash down a Toll House cookie?
Probably some Rose's Fudge would help out a great deal.
Ooh.
Okay. Hey, Ananje, this is why the Basketball Hall of Fame didn't get very much time. They needed maximum access to these snacks.
This is my speed.
Oh my God.
We're here with Christine. And you were
Oh,
Chef
my
of the Year
Lord.
last year.
Yes, I was. It's a very big honor for us in our association to be chosen as the Chef of the Year.
And how were you awarded that distinction? What was your dish?
Well, it isn't so much as the dishes that you make, but it's the participation that you have in the chapter, which is, how much of this kind of stuff you do and the motivation you have and the stuff like that. So I feel very honored to have been chosen.
All around Chef of the Year.
Oh, it's great.
Now this is the
He's like, God, can you imagine making love to a chef?
Polish booth.
Yes, it is.
The booth
That's
from Poland?
my heritage is Polish, and I remember fondly these kruszczyki that my grandmother used to make.
Oh, George is in heaven now.
My grandmother used to make those too.
I know, and it's they're called love knots, from what I understand, because you make them for the ones that you love,
Love knots? What?
and give them to make them for
Bill.
your family on special occasions, and they are special because everybody eats them all up. And we all know that, those of us who've had them.
Well, do you think I could eat them all up?
Sure. How about we'll start with this one. This is a good one. Robert, would you grab me a napkin there, please? Thank you. Now, Robert has been helping too. He and the kids from Dean Technical.
Beat it, Robert.
They actually did a lot of the production on this, and we made 1,500 of them, which is quite a few. So, just like a Hrushiki should.
Okay.
Great.
That's the same clip. What is going on here? George looks like he does seem like he's like a kid in a candy store. Look, I should have used this as the thumbnail. Oh man, you know what? I want some churros now.
Yes, we're still here.
I'm gonna eat an 8-piece from Burger King, an 8-piece chicken fry, 8-piece cheese fry, an 8-piece churro fry, with 2 motherfucking peppers on the side, and then I'm gonna talk about what the hell's wrong with Grace Thorpe.
I'm still eating. We're in deepest, darkest Africa with Phil.
Hi.
Welcome to Primetime, and tell us about what we have here.
Well, this is a pudding from indicative of puddings from northern Africa.
Grizzly Smith.
It's a rice flour and almond custard, light custard, and in that area they use starches and flours as thickeners rather than eggs as we do in this country. So it's a very light flavored, almond flavored pudding. And the other
Zangief? Yeah.
dessert is a
see that.
gazelle horn, which is a puff pastry.
Not necessarily real gazelle horns.
Right, there's no real gazelle. But that is also flavored with almonds, confectionery sugar, almond paste, and both of these desserts are also flavored with rose water.
Rosewater. Now, I've never tasted rosewater.
It's a popular flavoring in
I learned my lesson, Joe. I thought, man, I flew too close to the sun. I was like, I could for sure do I could do like a Savvy Guy parody. It was a complete flop. Like I feel the same way about the Tony Yo Man. If I tried to do a tribute, I just think it would just stall out.
in India and some Middle Eastern countries, and also in Africa. I'm not exactly sure how they get it, but it's an edible.
Then I also have to I'd have to contract out some talent to come in and be like the off-camera voice. It'd be a lot of hassle.
Essence of made from rose petals that they use in cosmetics and toiletries and also in cooking.
And how did you come about making these two desserts?
Well, we have tried to represent as many different countries as we could. So
Normally that would be a bad thing for George, but in this case, I think he's appreciating the diversity of pastries.
we just searched out recipes from all over the world, and we picked these as being indicative of.
Do you think he just stared ahead and smiled like he did at those love knots when he's at the peep show?
Several different kinds of desserts that are popular in Africa.
So the world is really tied together through desserts.
That's correct.
and let me do some tying. What do you suggest I taste first?
Well, I think you ought to try this first. Both are very.
Well, first of all, we'd have to the first compromise would have to be that I would have to be able to substitute, instead of 2 motherfucking peppers, I would have to do motherfucking jalapeno poppers on the side, since I'd be at Burger King.
Light, but this is a very different type of a pudding. It's not like the American puddings, which tend to be, a little more, take up a little more space. And that's also garnished with mocha chocolate.
This music.
It's almost like a cream.
Yes, it's made with light cream and as I say, rose water and ground almonds,
so
confectionery sugar.
Good for you, George.
And rice flour, which also contributes to how white it is.
Sorry about that. It's me. I'm usually pretty flying pretty high when I make those reviews. Some of them just like, I don't even know what I was thinking in them. But I forget all kinds of details. I've started, though, getting better about, I have of taking a little bit better notes during the movie, so I don't have to remember it. Like, I watched Steven Seagal movie called Attrition, and I don't remember what I liked about it exactly, but I know if I can remember, if I look at my notes and I see the scene, it'll all flood back to me. By the way, that movie sucks for 90% of it, and then the last 10% is amazing.
Don't forget to try the gazelle.
Absolutely not. I could eat these by the dozen. And what better than to finish off our journey in the good old US of A? We're here with Michael, our award winner.
Is this the associate producer in disguise?
And tell us about these awards. Welcome to Primetime.
Hi, sir. Thank you for having us here. Well, I'm Mike Berrio from Michael's Restaurant, Chateau Provo.
You sprayed perfume into your eye. I'm sorry about that, Ember. That sounds like something that Boy Tony would do to Tracy Smothers.
And the awards that I have are pretty much displayed by the American Culinary
Yeah, Randy, Burger King has, they have churro fries.
Federation. This is the pioneer.
If you can get them, if they make them fresh, I think they're amazing. But if you don't get them fresh, they suck.
Valley Culinary Association, which is similar to any organization like the Knights of Columbus, where it's a nationwide conglomerate. And there's approximately 270 chapters in the Culinary Federation with a president based in Florida. And this blue medal here, this is the president's medallion from the...
My daughter was supposed to go down to Florida for Fresh and Fit, but it got changed at the last minute because of Keemstar.
The ACF National Office.
He's coming for our income. He's coming for our bag.
And there were 100...
See, I'm too promo mode today.
...that he's given in the history of ACF. And for outstanding service to the community and to...
Is he wearing chef medals? Yes.
...the culinary profession and passing on your knowledge to the younger people. So this medal was given to me last year, and this is medal number 77, and this registers you into the American Culinary Federation Hall of Fame. And the gold one up on the top of the neck.
See you later, Ember.
I was a representative for New England on the New England Culinary Olympic team, which team competes, or 38 countries compete every 4 years over in Frankfurt, Germany, for the title of the world champions. And on that team, there was a team of 10 of us, including Senator Kennedy's chef, Neil Connolly, as well as 9 others from New England. And we took the World Championship in 1988, where everyone on the team scored a gold medal or better. So that explains the medals, through competition, hard work, 14-hour day.
Under Siege, one of his best, I think.
Days of practice, back and forth. And
long, hard hours.
Long, hard hours, but they pay off.
Long, hard hours.
And tell me, what is this organization all about? What brought you here?
Okay, the reason we're all here today is, again, for the benefit of the children.
Okay, that's at least the 3rd time we've seen the same clip of that woman.
We have a lot of young members, and we are one of the largest organizations in ACF, or American Culinary Federation, with a junior chapter.
Accent is great.
You mean you're not just here to feed me?
Oh, we're here to feed the public.
Do I think those medals are made of chocolate? Yeah.
and let them know that we're alive. But it's to raise money for students to continue their education. As we all know, the educations today can be $15,000, $20,000 a year at a
Oh my God, are you serious?
culinary school. And as the commercials say all the time, don't let a good mind go to waste because of the fact that they don't have financial aid or what have you. So all funds and proceeds today will benefit
This is making George Dorunda's blood boil.
our junior chapter scholarship fund. And the money will be turned.
He's like, I really like all these chocolates, but I really don't support any of these people getting any help. He's really torn on this one.
Turned over to them, and it's not a loan. When they get a scholarship from us to go to a culinary school, it is just for that, with nothing, no strings attached. And I would be slighting Diane if I didn't introduce her. One of our star
Are you doing is that a Ruby freestyle, Randy?
junior members, Diane Baez, who was my apprentice to work with me on today's dessert over here. Diane, should say a few words.
Hi.
Say hello to the man, Diane.
Were you always interested in cooking?
Always, yes.
Always. And did you ever think you'd come to a wonderful show like this?
No, I didn't.
You never did. Was it your idea to create any of these desserts?
I helped
You helped.
the mousse, the tui.
She's being modest. She had the great idea to do the flags. She helped me turn all the cookies here. She did the painting of the sauces. Diane is going to be the next wonder of the world from Chicopee, I'll tell you that. She's a trip.
Well, with desserts like this, you needn't be modest. Because
Trans
I'm a dessert
flags
expert,
on
as we all know.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And on this side of the table,
my
the research
God.
and development
Oh.
chef from Friendly Ice Cream. What could be more American than cider pie? So we have our cider pie over here from Friendly's. We have our hazelnut mousse over here from Michael's Restaurant. And they're all American. Yogurt from Vermont. Almonds, you all heard of Blue
Vermont
Diamond
yogurt.
almonds. They're from America, right?
Absolutely.
And everything here is, the only thing that we have missing is our yellow
Wow.
ribbon. But we thought we'd have everything else. Our centerpiece is an Easter Fantasy Americana. And we just had a lot of fun doing this, and we hope that it just generates enough funds to promote more people like Diane.
Hey, I've had a lot of fun being here, and I hope it continues. Hey, what could be more American than apple pie? And a word of caution, don't try this at home. If I had known it was going to be this much fun, I wouldn't have asked for any money. But then again, if I had known I was
Man,
going
this
to be
show will
this
fuck
good,
with you,
I
man.
would have asked for a little more. We'll be right back.
Way back in 1988, when I was young, the American
Are there more episodes? Only like 70 some more.
Cancer Society taught me that a
I'm gonna be absolutely inconsolable when we're out of primetime episodes.
low-fat, high-fiber diet could reduce the risk of cancer. I gave up some of my vices, didn't drink too much, ate my vegetables.
I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't really know the lore, but I would say probably not.
Especially those rich in vitamins A and C, and every bite was delicious. Today, I'm 82 and still having a blast.
Ready for warp speed.
Man, he does look pretty good for 82, man. Rich's mom gets around really well for being in her early 80s, too. That's always kind of surprising. She's still going out dancing and shit.
Under executes.
Feels like warm
The American
apple pie.
Cancer Society knows eating right can reduce the risk of cancer.
We're back, and here are the entertainers performing Shout.
You know you make me wanna shout, some shout, throw my arms back, shout,
Yes.
some shout, throw my arms back, shout, forget to say you will, shout, well, don't forget to say hey, shout, hey, yeah, shout, say you will, come on now, shout, say you will, come on now, shout, say that you love me, shout, say that you need me, shout, say that you want me, shout, you wanna please me, shout, come on.
All right, we're waiting for the two people to do the like hillbilly arm dance.
Now, shout, come on now, shout, come on now, shout. I still remember Shooby-Doo-Wop when you used to be 9 years old. Shooby-Doo-Wop, doo-wop, doo-wop, I was I want you to know.
There we go. Oh, there he is.
You've been good to me, baby, better than I've been to myself. And if you ever leave me, I don't want nobody else. You know you make me wanna shout, pick my hands up, shout, throw my arms back, shout, throw my hands up, shout, throw my arms back, shout. Come on now, shout, come on now, shout, come on now, shout, come on now, shout. A little bit softer now, shout, 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 a little bit louder 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 now, shout. Hey, 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 hey,
What a cover.
come on and shout, come on now, shout, come on now, shout, come on.
There they are. They made
I
it.
still remember Shooby-Doo-Wop when you used to be 9 years old. Shooby-Doo-Wop, Doo-Wop, Doo-Wop, I was a fool for you from the bottom of my soul. Shooby-Doo-Wop, Doo-Wop, Doo-Wop, let you know from down. I wanna let you know. Shooby-Doo-Wop, Doo-Wop, I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now.
Man, I'm
You've been
transfixed.
good to me, baby, better than I've been to myself. When if you
Hey, Bob Brown.
I don't want nobody else. You know you make me wanna shout, pick my heels up, shout, throw my arms back, shout, throw my hands up, shout, throw my arms back, shout. Come on now, shout, come on now, shout, come on now, shout, come on now, shout. A little bit softer now, shout, 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 a little bit louder 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 now, shout. Hey, 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 come on and shout, come on now, 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 shout.
Do you think I could get over in front of a crowd doing this song to karaoke with this level of energy? Like if I capped it at this level?
Come on now, shout, come on now, you know you make me wanna shout.
Well, we've only got 10 seconds left to go here, and I can't think of anything to do in 10 seconds. Okay, time's up. Good night, everybody.
All right, let's look for the other guy related to the guy in the Mark Rio below. By the way, George Dorunda, very generous, has on, you can use all of his music as long as you revenue share with him. His music, like, obviously he doesn't own the rights to the stuff that comes up on, like, the licensed music, but, like, his actual music, it doesn't affect your visibility or anything. It just auto turns on revenue share. Okay, so that's okay. Never mind. That's the one we knew about. One last time. Yeah, we can learn a lot from George Dorunda if we're talking about how to make content. Maybe that's my little, like, how George is letting all these different people, like, maybe that's my thing, is that I'm trying to keep, like, I'm trying to keep the old sign maker who, like, people don't do this kind of stuff anymore, like, at least not the way he does it. Like maybe that's my little, like his sign maker segment are these hundreds of hours we're spending chronicling everything George Dorunda ever created. So that we may learn from Dorunda. Oh, this is new.
Clutter, cords, and carpet can trip you up. Take a few simple steps to make your home safer. For a free home safety checklist, call 1-800-882-2003.
Did you ever hear the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Oh, did you guys see that? Chuddy. Chuddy. Are you having trouble walking around your RV? Is there clutter and garbage and piss jugs all over the place?
From anywhere we want to be, it's Prime Time with George Dorunda. Tonight, that great band Reflection, Primetime tire expert Mike Chuddy, will be returning to the International Dessert Festival, and you'll find out how you can
And he'll be like, now last time I was here.
grow giant pumpkins. So get ready for the most entertaining show on television.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to Primetime. And you know, the other shows are constantly doing theme shows of one kind or another, and it seems to be a good idea. For one thing, it takes a lot of pressure off of us, because you can present anything on a theme show just because it fits. It doesn't have to be interesting by itself. But of course, using that standard, I guess we've done nothing but theme.
Yo, what? Oh my God, dude. George is absolutely spitting facts here about the whole theme thing. Like, wow.
Shows here on Primetime. We just never figured out what the theme was before. Well, anyway, let's get on with the program. It's Reflection performing the McHammer hit. McHammer. Sounds like something at McDonald's. McHammer hit, Can't Touch This.
Sold it the whole time. Never broke on it. It's McHammer. We're saying McHammer. What could even happen here? When I hit play, we're going to hear one of these groups covering an MC Hammer song. Oh, man. I think this is at least 4, if not 5, with Chuddy. I feel like he's one of the most recurring people. Okay, here we go.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
Oh my God. Yes.
Well, my music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord.
Yes.
For blessing me with the mind too rhyme and too hot, feels good. When you know your town, super dope homeboy from the old town, I'm known as such. This is a beat, can't touch. I told you, can't touch this. That's how we're living in, you know, can't touch this. Look at my eye, man. Can't touch this.
Okay.
Yo, let me bust the funky lyrics. Can't touch this. Fresh new kicks in bands. You got it like that, so you know you want to dance. So move out of your seat. Get a fly girl and catch your speed while it's rolling. Hold on, pump a little bit, and then know what's going on like that. Like that. Full on a mission and boom, that black.
At this point, it's not whether Primetime is the greatest television show of all time. It's just how far, what's the gap between it and the next one. I mean, this is insurmountable, and we're only at like episode 25.
No, but you're too much. This is a beat, can't touch. I told you, can't touch this.
Look my eye, man.
Why you standing there? girl, can't touch this. Yo, ring a bell, school's back. Can't touch this. Give you a song or rhythm, making them sweat. That's what I'm giving them now.
Oh my God, look at
But
her.
the hammer, talk about show that's tight and tight. Singers are sweat, so fast for a white boy take to learn. What's it gonna take in a nice to burn the charts? Legit, you work hard, you might as well quit. That's the word because you know can't touch this. Can't touch this. Break it down.
Yes. Oh my God.
Stop. Hammer time. Go with the flow. Insane, but you can't prove this. And you're probably on day. So wave your hands in the air. Bust through moves. Let the fingers in your hair. This is it. For winner, dance to this, and you're gonna get dinner. Move, slide your hump. Just for a minute, let's hold it a pump, pump, pump.
Oh man. Woo.
Can't touch this.
Dude, this guy is gonna take over Reflections.
Told you. Can't touch this. You better hype, boy, cause you know you can't touch this. Yo, ring the bell, school's back in. Break it down.
What I like about this is that it just keeps going on and on and on.
Stop. Hammer time.
Oh my God. When George got this footage back and he watched it, like he just saw nothing but Keno all the way around. He had to know like this was just pure gold.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
I know his confidence level is like just like it's so outrageous.
Can't touch this. Break it down.
How many breakdowns? Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh man, that was really wild. And then he's like, school's back in.
Stop. Hammer time. Every time you see me, the hammer's just so hype. I'm dope on the floor and a magic on the mic. Now why would I ever stop doing this with others making records that just don't hit? I toured around the world, from London to the Bay. It's hammer go hammer.
I think he's already far surpassed the last guy who's had like 5 songs to try to win this girl over, and they've had no chemistry. And she's like she's on stage performing, but she's watching him like she's just an audience member.
Hammer on hammer, the rest can go and play. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Why you standing there, girl? Can't touch this.
Wow. Here, wait, we're going again?
I told you. Can't touch this. Too high. Can't touch this. Yeah, we out of here. Can't touch this.
That's how we living, and you know. Well,
MC Hammer, that's what I said, McHammer. Well, I can't.
Oh, there we go. George is still selling it.
Can't be concerned with that. I have my hands full making Americans the best entertained people on earth. Hey, stick around. We'll be back with the best darn show that we know how to do.
Roll the footage of those people running up a hill.
I'm David Hasselhoff with a word about an explosive combination. Medications, alcohol, and driving.
Wow, this really aged like milk for this guy. Wow. Where's the footage of him pushing the hamburger around on the carpet?
Prescription and non-prescription drugs can seriously affect your ability to drive safely,
That's what you
especially if
say.
you drink alcohol. If you're not sure whether it's safe to drive or drink while taking your particular medication, ask your doctor or pharmacist. Medicines are there to help you, but combining them with alcohol and driving can make a time bomb that can kill. A safety reminder from the Will Rogers Institute, White Plains, New York.
We're back with a taste of old world elegance. Let's return to the International Dessert Festival.
All right.
And we're here with Anthony. And are you really from Germany?
No, I'm not. I'm from the city of Chicopee.
You're from the city of Chicopee, but you have this fascinating looking German dessert.
Oh, thank you.
And what is it?
Now, are you from Germany? No. Oh, okay.
Called?
It's a Black Forest Torte.
Black Forest Torte.
Yes.
And you prepared this all by yourself?
No, I had some help on this. Chef Klinger from the Delaney House in Holyoke prepared this at his restaurant, and it's consisting of a chocolate cake with cherry liqueur, Kirschwasser, whipped cream, cherries, chocolate shavings, and chipped almonds.
Well, I can't wait any longer.
Help yourself.
Jan, you've got to try some of this. Yes, we're here with Susan from the All-Star Dairy Stores.
Yes.
And what do I see, this massive array in front of us?
Well, what you see here is our Jubilee cake line from All Star Dairy. We're featuring the Heath Bar Pie. We have the cheesecake, and this is a cappuccino souffle and one chocolate midnight cake.
And do you wear glasses?
Yes, I do.
Are you wearing them now?
Yes, I am.
See, we have to ask those qualifying
Why?
questions for you to be on the program.
Oh, okay. I've made it then. I'm all set.
Let's see, I like chocolate. What would you suggest?
Okay. Well, the Heath Bar, what you'll find is that it's not a dense cake. It's nice and airy in between because they have a buttercream frosting in between. If you want a deep, dark chocolate, the chocolate midnight, it's a chocolate lover's fantasy.
I'll tell you what, I'll try both.
Okay, I'll let you have both. Yeah, we do. We do give milk away free every day. Good?
Excellent, and I am an expert.
All right, see? That's...
Jan, you don't know what you're missing. Yes, we're here with Cecile, and are you really from Italy?
No, I am not.
You just like making Italian desserts?
Yes, I do.
And what do we have to sample here today?
Today we are sampling the Zavignon mousse, and we also have the Dolce salami torte.
And salami, does that have anything to do with real salami?
No, it's just a replica of salami. What it is, it's a...
Replica salami.
Today we used animal crackers.
That's the TOS friendly word for dildo.
But you can substitute it with vanilla wafers, and you add the cocoa to it with eggs, form it into a ball, roll it out into logs. You can freeze it, or you can refrigerate it, slice it up, and today we featured it on top of a white chocolate sauce.
And you realize I'm here sampling every dessert around.
Well, I hope you are.
And it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
I hope so.
Well, what do you suggest I tackle first?
I would say the salami. That's been a very popular item today.
Okay, we're off to the salami. Hey.
What's up, Joe?
At home, I used pastry knife.
Yes, kids, we're traveling the world of desserts, and we're here in Greece with Effie.
Yes, hi. Nice to see you.
Nice for you to invite us here. And
Pleasure.
What do you have here? I see some white-looking things and some other. Tell us what I have to sample.
Yes. These are powdered sugar cookie. They're made with unsalted butter, and they have toasted almonds in them and flour, a little bit of powdered sugar inside also, vanilla extract, and a touch of lemon. And then after they're cooked, they have a powdered sugar dusted on top, and they're a delicious cookie. They melt in your mouth, delicious with a cup of coffee.
And you think I could eat my...
Well, he's a big health food nut now, though. So like he's like beyond into it. He's like it's like a all-consuming for George, the health food. So I think he's probably got everything under control now.
I weight in these?
Probably you could, yeah.
And what else do we have down the table?
Okay, on the other side is also a phyllo dough, and it's very thin dough, and it's layered with butter, melted butter, and there's also layers of walnuts, cinnamon, and a little bit of nutmeg, and that's layered again, and the top is phyllo dough, baked in the oven. Then there's honey syrup made, and it is poured on top after it comes out of the oven, and you let it cool, and it's delicious. That's a heavier dessert, but it's also very excellent.
Well, I'm a heavy person.
No, you're not.
And which do you prefer?
I like this one because it's a little bit lighter, where the baklava is very, very filling. It's also excellent. Actually, I think the baklava is probably more traditional of Greece. More people would know what that dessert would be.
Well, I'll try the lighter one, and then I'll work my way up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Melts in your
If you could choose one, which would it be? Okay, thank you. I'm going to eat all of them.
mouth and in your hand.
But there's no mess in your hand, right?
Check out what I got for you today. I got baklava. I got powdered sugar donuts, 2 motherfucking peppers on the side. I talked to my neighbor today. He crazy.
We're supposed to eat desserts, you know.
You're not? I won't tell.
Yes, I'm eating my way through the world. I've eaten so many desserts, my head is beginning to spin. But we're here in France with Arthur, and what do you have for me to sample?
Here we have chocolate thistles, which is chocolate ganache with marzipan rolled around it and painted with dark chocolate, and cream horns, which is a puff pastry horn filled with the same ganache filling.
So it's kind of a chocolate mania.
Yeah, that's for sure. You'll be rushing after this one. And there's
no, the Russian booth was over there. We covered them a while ago.
I mean, you'll be getting head rushes. How's that? It's garnished with caramelized almonds, and it's on a bed of raspberry sauce with cream in it. So, low-cal dish.
Low-cal, that's my only style. Health food desserts.
Yeah, it's great for your shape. It builds big shape.
Hey, and I did it all without steroids.
Wow, this guy.
Right.
There you
All
go.
natural.
Hey,
Bon appetit.
enjoy.
Take an apple. Pour the apple.
Yes, we're here in Ireland as we're sampling food from many countries here at the Chez Joseph.
Lol-cow
And we're
dish.
here with Paul.
Hi, how are you?
And what is your specialty?
My specialty is a black custard tart. It's a Irish pastry tart with Irish pastry cream.
That's the twist to the show, is that I'm making prime time as we go. All of the future episodes that you see are just all AI generated. We're actually making them as we go. So that I'm sneaking in all these little references.
With Bailey's Irish cream incorporated into it. It's topped off with fresh blackberries.
And we understand the ham of the group is Courtney.
Hi.
And your specialty?
The ham of the group is Courtney.
This is Irish whiskey cake.
And I understand you haven't even tried this yet.
No, I haven't.
You have no idea what it tastes like.
No, I couldn't tell you.
Well, why don't you taste one for me? I've been around to all these tables. I'm getting a little full. Not bad, fair, good, excellent.
Real good.
You heard it here. Yes, sampling desserts. It's the next best thing to actual entertainment. But hey, stay with us. When we return, we'll have giant pumpkins.
Yes.
We pledged our allegiance to it when we were young. We studied its importance when we were in our teens. We sing its praises at every sporting event. We display it when we celebrate, lower it when we mourn, and honor our heroes with it when they've fallen. It stands for what we are and what we believe in. How we treat it says a lot about us.
Do you think that what's the name of it? Yeah, Abyssinia. Do you think they ever had a dessert table at any of these?
next guest really knows how to grow pumpkins. Yes, she's Mary Phelan. Well, Mary, welcome to Prime Time, and you certainly do know about growing pumpkins. This 411-pound giant that we're standing next to here.
Man, that's like Wings of Redemption sized pumpkin.
How is it done? How many years does it take?
Takes just one growing season. Basically, the seeds are started in May and the pumpkin matures in September, October.
Well, why are some pumpkins small and what creates this giant?
A lot has to do with the variety. You have a Connecticut field, which is basically what most people are familiar with for a Halloween pumpkin, which is the smaller pumpkin and will tend to grow 50 or 60 pounds, but not much larger. These are varieties that have been bred specifically for a large pumpkin, and Atlantic Giant is one of the ones that most people tend to use. So it's the variety of the pumpkin that produces the size. And what determines that variety? Is it special seeds? How do you breed pumpkins? It's a seed.
Well, don't forget, I was too high one time to try to figure out how to spell reggae, so I just started calling it Rasta music, and that's permanently stuck.
Atlantic Giant is a variety that a specific seed company produces. And what most of the growers with the large seeds tend to do is once they've produced a fairly large pumpkin, they will use their own seed another year to try and produce even a larger pumpkin. So Mr. Hackney, who happens to be the winner with this pumpkin, each year takes that seed and he also sells them to other people to try and get them to produce pumpkins of equal size.
And what do these seeds look like? Regular pumpkin seeds?
Appearance, they are like regular pumpkin seeds, but in terms of size, they're about double the size of a regular pumpkin seed.
So these are double the size of a regular pumpkin seed. Well, I think we're going to have to try our own primetime experiment. Do you think I could grow one of these?
That's wrong.
Probably.
In my own backyard?
If your backyard is large enough. It takes approximately 20 feet by 40 feet, which is larger than a room in a house.
Well, I have plenty of...
Direct sun.
Direct sun.
Needs good fertilizer.
George is going to grow a giant pumpkin.
Manure that is not fresh manure. Needs to be at least a year that it's set and composted. And fertile soil that you can have tested through your cooperative extension service usually.
And don't just follow the instructions, and it is possible.
Right. Well, there's a few other keys to it. One other key is to keep it well watered. The other key to it is that you need to, once the pumpkin vine has set, that you need to allow the pumpkins to start to grow. And about the size, once one of your pumpkins is about the size of a soccer ball, then you take off all other fruit and blossoms and don't allow any other fruit to grow on that vine so that all of your nourishment is going into that one pumpkin that you want to be your largest.
Ah, that's the trick. Does that work the same for tomato plants and everything else? If you wanted large tomatoes, would you take off the smaller fruit first?
Probably, but it's more of a gamble because that's a shorter growing season so that you're not going to have as... If it doesn't grow as big, you've lost everything else that you've taken off.
But with pumpkins, that's the trick.
That's the trick. And the vine itself is going, well, you can see the stem here, how large it is. That's about the size of someone's wrist. So the vine...
That's about the size of a large tree.
Right. Wow. The vine that has to support that is that large in diameter.
And this vine grows all around the yard.
Grows all around the yard. And what pumpkin vines tend to do is attach to the ground. What you want to do near where this pumpkin is make sure that you cut those tap roots so they don't attach, because if they attach, as this pumpkin starts to grow, it won't allow the vine to move with the pumpkin and it will snap off just because the vine can't leave the ground.
So with these seeds and the right tips, I'm ready to grow my pumpkin.
Right, but you want to make sure that you start them not until May.
Not until May?
If you start them too early, what happens is what's called transplant shock. The pumpkins begin to grow, and then you have to let them set as you wait for the warm weather outside, and they sort of almost retard the growth.
So it's better to plant a shorter growing season.
Right, start them indoors under a heat lamp so that they germinate very quickly, beginning of May, and then you plant your pumpkins outside when the plants are about 3 or 4 inches tall, and when the soil is nice and warm in June. You don't want to plant them into cold soil, or again, they won't continue to grow.
Well, thanks, Mary, for being here on Prime Time. I'm going to try this, and maybe I'll be back with the award winner next year.
Sounds good.
Hey, stick around. We'll be back with more Prime Time right after this.
George was thinking it was like magic beans. You could just put one in the ground and it would grow a gigantic pumpkin like that. He's like, oh, wait, I have to wait until May to plant it? I need at least 1-year-old manure?
When I first got my license, every time I left the house, my parents would say, "Remember to buckle up, dear." But I never did. Just didn't seem too cool. Besides, Most of the time I was only going around the block.
Didn't seem too cool.
You know how parents are. Always telling you what to do. But you know what? I wish I'd listened.
Making it as difficult as a heart transplant.
I really do.
Hey kids, we're back with
I
more
forgot
Prime
about
Time
Chuddy.
fun. And have you got some questions about tires? Well, my next guest can answer them. Yes, he's back again, Mike Chuddy. Well, Mike, welcome back again. Again, a regular fixture here at Prime Time.
Nice to be here.
You know, last time we were on, we didn't get a chance to get into talking about front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive and different alignment problems that occur. And in a front-wheel drive car, what do you do first? The rear wheels or the front wheels?
Well, if you're going to do...
Or both.
It depends on the car. Some of them you only have to do the front end, like the old kind of cars that used to be rear-wheel drive. The rear axle was a solid axle, and it was in the car to stay. It didn't move unless the car was in an accident. So you just...
Should we do a speed lube IRL where I try to get one of the technicians to sit down with me and explain the difference between front wheel drive and rear wheel drive?
Align to the front end. Now things have changed. Most cars are front wheel drive. The rear axles
Slutty Chuddy.
are independently sprung from side to side, and the alignment can change on the back end.
So it's like being in a boat.
Yeah,
Almost.
and some of them ride like it too.
But we won't mention any names.
Right. A lot of cars now do need what's called a four-wheel alignment. And what that means is that you take the rear tires and align them first. And you align the rear tires to a fictitious center line of the car. If you were to take a line and run it right down the middle of the car, you'd set up the rear wheel alignment to that center line.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once you're done with that, you align the front tires not to the car, but to the rear alignment angle, so that your car isn't dog tracking to one side or the other, and your steering wheel is straight when you're going down the road. It makes a big difference in the newer cars because some of the angles that determine...
I should do a Mike Chuddy supercut of just all the tire talks collected in one compilation.
Tire wear change.
The Mike Chuddy Omnibus.
As you move the steering wheel from side to side. One of these is what's called the caster angle.
Chuddy
Back
alert.
in the old days, caster angles were very small. They were about 1 degree and up to 3 degrees. So when you turn the steering wheel slightly to move the car to one side or the other, the camber angle didn't change too much. Nowadays, the caster angles can be pretty severe. You get angles running up to 10 degrees on some cars. And these cars act sort of like race cars. So that as soon as you turn the steering wheel, the tires lean right over. And if your steering wheel is not straight when you're driving down the road, that means that your tires aren't at the right angle when you're driving down the road.
And at 10 degrees, it seems like you'd really be ripping up the tread on your tires.
Well, you really do. And what will happen is if you're not referencing the front end of the car to the back tires, you're aligning it with the steering wheel straight. And
you think the Mike Chuddy Omnibus would be like, it would shut down the servers, the demand would be so high?
And your camber angle is fine, your tires are straight up and down, but as soon as you get it off the alignment rack...
Oh my God, if we could get Mike Chuddy to work on Daisy, oh my God, legendary.
Start driving down the road, because the rear end is a little off to one side, and you didn't reference your front end to that rear end, all of a sudden you're having to turn the steering wheel a little bit to one side to make your car go straight. Well, as soon as you do that, those front tires lean over. And you've got...
What state's he in, Joe?
One running negative camber, one running positive camber, and then you've got inside wear and outside wear. And you don't know why it's happening because you just had the car lined up.
Are these newer front-wheel drive cars anything like the older four-wheel drive vehicles used to be?
Well, some of them are, but most of the old rear-wheel drive or the old four-wheel drive vehicles were more similar to...
I bet Mike Chuddy helped fund Prime Time.
...to rear-wheel drives. They had a solid rear axle in the back end that was held in place by leaf springs, and that axle wasn't adjustable and it didn't move. Even the front axle on some of the older four-wheel drives was a solid axle, and the only adjustment possible was a toe in or toe out setting. As the four-wheel drives became more sophisticated, then they too started getting into independent suspensions. So in that respect, yeah, the front-wheel drive cars are a little bit like...
I mean, it's a great show, and it's super entertaining and informative, but I mean, it is, at the end of the day, a lot of it is like, it's a commercial for like where he's at. Like, here's, you know, everything in here. Like, you could contact them, or you could go to the chocolate festival or the basketball museum. You could hire George and his band, or you could hire the McHammer guy.
The four-wheel drives. But you're seeing a lot of four-wheel drive cars on the road nowadays, not just pickup trucks. And these cars all have their own problems. We're also seeing some newer cars.
There is, I don't know about a gambling addict. There is kind of a, like a quiet desperation about Mike Chuddy. I can't really put my finger on it. Like, you know, he's making a good living. He's, you know, obviously he's known and respected as a tire expert in his area. He's appearing on this television show. He seems to have everything. But it's like there's something missing for Mike Chuddy. Like, time is moving forward, but Mike feels like he's stuck behind a little bit.
Cars out that have four-wheel steering. And
yes, it's a local. Yeah, exactly. It's like a local travel guide, which I think is great. Like, that's not an insult in any way. I think that's amazing.
Nightmares, it sounds like.
I don't want to see one. On these newer cars that have the four-wheel steering, you really need one of these new computerized alignment machines, and the alignment machine itself.
I think you might be onto it, Anand Jay. He knows the days of independent tire shops are almost over. That could be like yeah, there's a little bit of there's just a little bit of something to him. That could be it.
The mechanic through the alignment. I don't think too many guys out there that are doing alignments on four-wheel steering cars really know just what's going on in this car. But you don't see many of those around. I've yet to see one in the shop. It's mostly front-wheel drives.
Well, Mike, I know what to expect out of my rear-wheel drive van, and I think I'm going to stick with that. But what can people expect for problems out of front-wheel drive cars for alignments? How will they notice if it needs an alignment?
Well, unfortunately, lots of times you don't notice. Front-wheel drive cars have a different way of moving the vehicle than the older style of rear-wheel drive cars. And the steering is tied right in with the drive wheels. So there is so much inertia in the front-wheel drive that makes the car tend to go straight that sometimes a tire pull or an alignment pull doesn't show up as easily in a front-wheel drive car. And unlike the old rear-wheel drive cars, you may not pick up on it right away. I think this is a reason for making a trip to your alignment shop a periodic thing.
Hey, Dancing on the Sun. This is Mike Chuddy. He owns a tire store in the Northeast back in 1991. He's telling us what we can expect as far as if our front end needs an alignment.
Don't just wait until you're sure you've got a problem. Maybe bring it in once a year and have it checked.
Well, Mike, once again, it has been interesting, and Mark keeps...
Exactly, Randy. Like, to me, it's amazing. Like, and I think of, I mean, it might sound silly to some people, but I think like what Ruby does, like that neighborhood that she lives in, like we know, like forever, as long as there's a YouTube or whatever, like people will be able to see like, oh, this was what this neighborhood in New Haven was like, or this is what traveling in in an RV for over 3 days in that era was like for you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a lot of that in like people who do IRL streaming, whether they mean to or not.
Waving at me over here. Yes, Mark, I know we are out of time. It's been fun. We'll be back again to talk more about tires. We'll be back with more Prime Time after this.
Don Bass.
Clutter, cords, and carpet can trip you up. Take a few simple steps to make your home safer.
Like, I know, I feel like I've been to the Mohegan Sun because I've toured it so many times with the Thorpes. Like, I would have never known what that was like. Jedi Rich and Joy in Vegas with all the footage they take. Like, I feel the same way about it.
For a free home safety checklist, call 1-800-882-2003.
We're back, and we're out of time. We gotta go. See us next time. Well, you see us, we'll see you. Good night, everybody.
Great episode. Great episode. I hope that it would bring George some level of like just a little bit of happiness that like people are appreciating primetime, even if it's just like a small, what seems like anyway, like a small group of people. I can't really find a lot of other like channels that are. A guy made a playlist of them, but there's not like. It's just they just link to George's page, but I think he would appreciate that I got up at 8 o'clock and put on most of a tuxedo to honor him today. You want someone to ball tap George? He'd be a good sport about it, I think. Just want to let you know that your baby blue eyes survived the crystal diamond perfume being sprayed freaking into her. Little red and teary still. All right, well, I'm glad you're doing better, Ember. Eye shit is pretty shitty. I was gonna say something. Oh, about the ball tapping. I think that George would just be kind of like a boys will be boys type situation. Has to run the video of the lady dropping her cake. Essentially, George is a bro. I think he would like to be. I don't know that he is. For more tire information, call Mike Chuddy. I'm willing to call Mike Chuddy to see if he'll do a free estimate on the RV, but I can't do it on stream because where I live, that's illegal. I can't just call places and like broadcast the call. But I'll call. I'm pretty sure somebody said that there was or at least his name was on some kind of a business still. And that wasn't even the same. That was a clip from last episode.
All right, penguins, make.
Wow. All right, what do we got this time? Taste of Chicopee 2, entertainers and more Mike. Oh my God, it's a Chuddy feast. Back to back Chuddy. Oh, what's going on, man? Where's Mark? Oh no! Remember that guy?
From anywhere we want to be, it's Prime Time with George Dorunda. Tonight, Prime Time tire expert Mike Chuddy, the entertainers, and we'll be tasting our way through Chicopee at the Big Taste of Chicopee 2. So get ready for the most entertaining show on television.
There are so many weird Kino moments on primetime that I forget so many of them, like that awkward one where they were doing acupuncture on that lady's face. And George acted like he was going to put one in and the lady like sprung up.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to the big program. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to relax and think of our show as your show. You, of course, will not be paid, but, just relax and enjoy the big program. We're here at the Summit House on Mount Holyoke, and what a better way to start off the big show than to taste some food. Let's visit the Taste of Chicopee 2. Hey, we're starting off our journey through the Taste of Chicopee here at Quickies, and this is Michael.
Mike McGann.
And I understand we're going to have char hots. What exactly are char hots?
Char hots are buffalo all-beef hot dogs cooked over a Maplewood grill and served with spicy relish and mustard or anything else you want.
Kind of served the old-fashioned way.
Well, and there was that like cryptic. Remember that weird thing during the sign thing where it kept almost printing it out, but it never did. The name Mark. So maybe there are some like real behind the scenes thing, or it's just really interesting long play storytelling.
Old fashioned, that's it.
Grilled to a crisp.
Any way you like them.
That one looks just about right now.
That's perfect.
Now, do these really taste hot?
No, they're not spicy. The mustard's a little bit spicy, but the hot dogs themselves aren't spicy at all. Isn't that the best hot dog?
George is from an era where men were masculine enough that you could eat a glizzy on camera and no one would think anything.
Like you've ever had? Weber mustard. Everything's imported from Buffalo.
Including the buffalo wings.
Including the wings, yeah.
Yes, continuing our journey here at the Taste of Chicopee, we're all the way in Germany. Marlene's Townhouse with Tony. Have you been drinking?
No, not yet.
Good thing. And?
Tonight. Yeah, right on tonight.
And?
Ann Irwin.
Ann Irwin. And German specialties.
From Marlene's Townhouse.
What do we have available? What am I going to sample?
Once she gets once she's with a stroke expert, Miss Piggy she don't want to give it up.
You are going to sample knockwurst, sauerkraut, German hot potato salad, and German meatloaf.
All that in one bite?
One bite.
And with a name like Tony, how do you get into German food?
My name is Tanya, really.
This is a bite of everything.
A bite of everything.
Absolutely perfect. Just let the awkwardness sit and just move on. Amazing.
Because we've already been told how delicious it is from customers.
I'll be the judge of that. After all, I am a trained professional.
Okay. But you're getting it free.
Well, why do you think we're here? To entertain people? To show them what the taste is all about? For the free food.
I had to put this shirt back on.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Great scene. Oh man. Perfect. George is like, hey, would you mind taking a bite of this with me on camera? And the guy's like, yeah, okay.
Tasting our way through Chicopee, here we are at the King of Clubs. And your name?
My name is Rock Munier. I represent the King of Clubs, and we're down here serving sausage and peppers and tortellini salad.
Sausage and peppers, that sounds like my speed.
I think we've got one coming up for you, sir.
What a hair
With extra onions?
You got it.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes, continuing
so
our festive taste through Chicopee. We're here at Giovanni's with...
Giovanni's, Rick Fertese, the owner.
You're not Giovanni, are you?
Oh, you can call me Giovanni's. Rick Fertese, the owner of Giovanni's.
You own Giovanni's.
I own Memorial.
Close enough.
Right.
And what do we have to taste?
We have a nice meatballs and garlic bread. We're serving here at the Taste of Chicopee. Very tasty.
I'm trying to cut back. Let's forego the garlic bread, but I'll have the meatballs.
All right, we got nice meatballs right here. Just happen to have some available.
Yeah.
Like
they did. Who had the hairpiece thing?
Magic. Spicy.
Wasn't there like a hairpiece thing in the credits?
Meatballs?
Just like that. Spicy meatballs, a delicious tomato sauce. Want me to hold that mic and you can...
Here, you host for a while.
All right, I'll be the host of the day here. Too bad they can't taste it on TV, though.
And we're here at Bop Cheese with Peter. Welcome to Prime Time.
Well, thank you very much, and we appreciate it. We're happy to be here.
And
all right, Amber, take care of your blue eye. I'm glad you're healing.
I've never heard of Bop Cheese. Where is it located? Next to Jaju's?
Days when there were several red hats, yeah.
Now, we're located on Hamden Street, right next to White Glove Caterers.
Right next to White Glove Caterers. And what do you have to sample today?
Today we've got...
I feel like most of the things George does, even if it's not really something that's super appealing to me, like I would just... It just seems like it's something... It's at least like something interesting to do. Like I would visit just about any place we've seen so far. Now, I wouldn't want to see the guy that walked the wheel, and I wouldn't want to see that one opera singer because he was an asshole. But I think everything else I would be down for.
Gołąbkis, Bocce's Gołąbkis, and her homemade kapusta.
I think I'll try a Gołąbki.
Gołąbki? Sure, let's get that for you.
Nice and piping hot. Bopchi would be proud.
When I'm like in my 90s, Vegan Patriot's going to push me around in a wheelchair to all these Dorunda locations, and that'll be like my life flashing before my eyes.
Just like Bopchi used to make. Well, come along and be my China doll. We're here at the China Doll restaurant with...
Tươi.
Okay, it's easier if you know the language, right? And what do you have to serve me?
We have teriyaki for you to try it out.
Teriyaki beef. Nice and spicy and tender.
Yes, very juicy and tender.
Hey kids, continuing our journey through Chicopee's finest food, and we're here with
Tony Romano.
Tony Romano.
You know what else I think is good about George is that I think he does put in a good amount of planning and like to make sure that at least there's the I mean, you can't control whether someone's going to be a good interview or not, but like I think he does put in legwork. But I think he's also a big believer in like good enough, like that he's not grinding this shit into the ground. I don't think like if he gets footage that's like close to what he wants, I think he just rolls with it, and I think that's like. I think that energy like transfers over to the show in like a really fun way.
And you're famous for?
Brownie pizzas.
Brownie pizzas. And who invented a brownie?
Like, just get the edit close. You don't have to end on like a, great freeze frame or anything, or like I don't know. I'll show you when something comes up what I'm talking about.
Pizza. I've never heard of a brownie pizza before, and I'm a food expert.
Well, it's come from a lot of magazines and put in two and two together. And my father invented it, Don Romano.
How did you figure this out? We put two and two together.
How does one come up with the idea? I mean, brownies, and then you put fruit on it, and chocolate sauce, is it?
It's my father.
Secret recipe.
Secret recipe.
A secret recipe handed down from generation to generation.
Exactly.
And what else do we have here? It's
sausage on a stick.
Oh, the low-cal version, right?
Of course.
Which has more calories?
The one on the left.
Yeah, the one on the left.
The sausage on a stick.
Yes.
I think that's what I'll take, since I'm not on a diet anyway. And I could care less about cholesterol. Sausage on a stick.
Like, I guarantee you George isn't sticking around saying, hey, let's get one more. Like, he might eat another one, but he's not going to say, like, hey, let's get let's get that one right. I need to be eating the hot dog, like, the right way. Like, I don't think so. I think he was just a fan of, like, let's get out there and do it and get it. Let's get the footage and, let's secure the content.
Yes, we're here at a landmark in Chicopee. It's the famous Hukila restaurant, and we're here with Billy.
Yee.
Billy, welcome to Prime Time. And what do you have for me to sample today?
Oh, we have our famous General Chicken.
One of my favorites at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Spicy General Chicken.
That's right. Okay, Becky, you want to give the gentleman here?
Whoa, spicy General Chicken. One of my favorites. Yes, continuing our locale trip around Chicopee, and we're here at
Locale
Partners
tour.
with Donna.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, is it Oh Donna like in the song?
That's right, you got it.
The same thing. And what do we have to sample?
We have Belgian waffles with fresh
I don't think he's a reformed vegan now, but he is definitely big into health food. Like that's one of his big defining traits right now, or as he in his older years.
strawberries and whipped cream.
Hold it right there. Oh, keep going.
Oh, okay. And we have Cajun shrimp.
Cajun shrimp.
Cajun shrimp.
I think you know which one I'm choosing.
Cajun shrimp.
I'm on a diet. I'm picking I have to pick the locale.
The locale. Oh, the locale.
With extra whipped cream.
The locale.
Okay. Okay, you got it.
Let's prepare and whip this up. It's a tough job, but somebody.
George Dorunda is literally using the phrase lolcow for the first time documented in history. He should own the copyright to the term, in my opinion.
He's got to do it. Please, a word of caution.
Bangs herself with a rolling pin. What if she smacks her pussy with the rolling pin? He pretends to... That's a really good con act. I should try that this summer.
Don't try this at home.
You know what? I don't think there's enough whipped cream on there.
Oh!
He told me to do it.
He told me to do it.
And even with that vicious attack, I think they deserve an award.
Right. Hey, we judged these people best because right after the beer booth, they were next in line. No, not really.
Second to the beer. Ha!
Third place goes to partner.
What a great little moment in life that if George hadn't filmed it, there would probably be no pictures of this little exchange. No, certainly no video. Like, this is it's amazing to me. This is such a neat little moment in time that George has immortalized.
And they had what we thought was the third best quality of food, the attractiveness of booth, and uniqueness of product. So, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
Congratulations, but do I get this now? Don't hit me with it. Don't hit me with it. Continuing our journey through the Big Taste O Chicopee, and we're here at one of my favorite places, chocolate truffle cake, and this is
Bob Pro, the Chateau Provo, and Michael's.
And I'll tell you, this is my favorite. Whoever invented this?
I did.
You did. This is your original invention, huh?
One of them, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, sure.
And how did you come up with that idea? It's nice, that very rich chocolate.
It's a double chocolate, and it's very hard to make, and it's very good. I like it myself.
One of your specialties.
So did Mark set him up with the whipped cream, I think? She said, it's got to be who she's talking about.
Michael's. And I'll just have to sample a few. This is what I've been waiting for all year. More chocolate truffle cake. And Mr. Eater says second place goes to Michael's, right?
Absolutely right. Second place was given to Michael's. They scored 70 out of 90 points. And this is given to you based on the attractiveness of your booth, presentation of your food, and the uniqueness of the food as well.
And isn't this the proudest day of your life?
It is.
That's right. You get to feed me and win an award all in one day. It's too much fun for any one human to have.
On a nice day like this especially.
Yes, tasting our way through Chicopee. We're here at Paige's Loft with Cynthia.
Yes, me, yeah.
And you know, I'm getting a little dizzy. My head is beginning to spin. We have to bring in the heavy hitter, Freddie, the big man, Tenzar.
Freddie.
Let the heavy hitter in.
Fred, you've got to help me out because I'm telling you, I'm getting dizzy. I'm eating so much here at the Big Taste of Chicken.
George using this guy as a plant, and now we find out he's an inside man.
What do we have, Cynthia?
We're featuring two things. We have a wonderful seafood kebab. It's shrimp, scallops, and swordfish in an Italian marinade, and wonderful Bailey's Irish cream tarts with a buttercream filling and a chocolate shave.
Everything looks delicious.
Well, Fred's going to have one of each.
Okay, here you are, Fred.
Let's go, Fred.
Doesn't get better than this.
Thank you. And what do we call this?
This is the seafood skewer.
It looks excellent.
Fred, be careful with those shrimps. You're not used to shrimps.
Oh.
Oh, sailing off.
better than it looks. Thank you very much. It's excellent.
I'm telling you, we had to bring in the heavy hitters. And even though my head is spinning, Mr. Eater agrees this is number one.
Number one goes to Page's Loft with a score of 83 out of a possible 90. You blew us away.
Excellent.
It was great.
Excellent. Thank you.
We thought your booth was beautiful, your presentation was great, and you really have some unique food here. And I hope you're as proud of this as Chicopee is of you.
We
So,
certainly are. That's why we entered, even
there's
from
the number
Northampton. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Great.
Very much.
Once again, another proud primetime viewer. If you're just joining the program, I think it's going very well. Hey, we'll be right back with primetime tire expert Mike Chetty.
Oh man, Mike Chetty.
When I first got my license, every time I left the house, my parents would say, "Remember to buckle up, dear." But I never did. Just didn't seem too cool. Besides, most of the time I was only going around the block. You know how parents are. Always telling you what to do. But you know what? I wish I'd listened. I really do.
Yes, phone the kids and wake the neighbors. He's back once again. He's our tire expert. Let's not waste any time because we keep running out of time with him. He's Mike Chetty. Well, Mike, welcome back. Let's get right down to business. I don't want to waste any time because we keep running out of time. Every time you're on the program, Mark keeps waving at us.
Hey, get crack.
And telling us we've run out of time and we don't want to have any problems. You know, on our way up, I saw this one car. It was bouncing down the road like a basketball.
What?
Well, the tire was probably drastically out of round, or it had a broken belt.
Does that happen out of round? What causes that?
Out of round. It can happen in a brand new tire because the tire wasn't built right. Maybe the mold was put together crooked, or maybe the tire wasn't cooked enough, and then when the air pressure was put in the tire, it made it distort or become egg-shaped or something like that. It often happens from running through a severe hole in the road, which puts a crease in the steel cord in the belt and damages the tire in some way.
So it may not necessarily be a tire defect.
No, it might not.
I think it could be all of them. He might have just done one big sit-down interview.
Not be a tire defect. Tires are being made better and better, and you don't see as many defects in tires as we used to back in the 70s.
But they're still not perfect.
But they're still not perfect, and they're still there. And if you see a tire, I hope you stopped the guy and told him.
Oh no, he was going in the other direction.
Oh.
And we had to come up here. We had a schedule to keep.
Right.
I hope you told him, no, we have a schedule to keep.
Tire was probably out of round, and so as it was rolling, instead of rolling perfectly smooth, it was just hopping up and down. The guy should have known it. Something that severe usually is transmitted through the whole car, and the whole car shudders and shakes as you're going down the road. But maybe he was in a hurry too.
I would assume, because he wasn't stopping.
Well, the steel belts are a big problem with tires.
How about the plies of rubber on the side? Like they used to say 2 plies and 4 plies. Does that really make a difference?
Not anymore. People used to think that the more plies in a tire, the better.
I heard they have 1-ply tires.
Yes. One of the major tire companies started making single-ply sidewall radials years and years ago.
ATF Media, that tires are a deep world. We're just getting started with Mike Chetty. We have like 7 more to go.
Are they any less safe?
No, they're as safe. They're probably more safe because the technology is better. I think the major reason for going with a single-ply sidewall tire is a savings in fuel consumption.
It makes that much of a difference.
Well, the less plies that you have in a tire, the less friction you have between those plies as the tire is rolling down the road. So if you can eliminate extra plies, you're going to get better gas mileage and less heat buildup in the tire. what they're probably doing is making the single-ply sidewall in the new tires as thick as the old double-ply sidewall by using a fatter polyester cord. But don't hesitate to buy a tire because it's got a single-ply sidewall, because it's just as good as the old tires that you used to have on your 65 Chevy or whatever that had 4-ply sidewalls. The major cause of concern in most radial tires now isn't the sidewall, it's the steel belt on the top of the tire.
Really?
Really?
The tire company started touting steel-belted radials, well, I can remember back in the late 60s and early 70s. And we used to see commercials on TV where a car would drive behind a big truck, and they'd be throwing all kinds of things out in the road, and this steel-belted tire would drive over it. Axe handles and axe blades and knives and nails. Well, they had to take that commercial off because it really wasn't true.
I mean, I get a little nail and I'm in to fix a flat.
Sure. The steel cord is in the tire to make the tire stiff. And that's what makes a steel-belted tire handle.
It'll give you better traction.
It gives you better traction and better handling. But it doesn't necessarily make it puncture-proof. And we fix as many holes in steel-belted tires now as we did the old days with just polyester or nylon or fiberglass cord tires.
Yeah, I feel like almost the reactions from George are always the same canned reactions, whatever the conversation is. Maybe he had the camera primarily on him, and then he shot himself after the other way, like just reacting, like oh, and then he's just using whatever's appropriate.
Steel isn't the ideal cord to use.
Or just the one of him where it's just really awkward and he's just like a half smiling.
Use in tires because sometimes it can be bruised easily, like a screen door. Have you ever hit a screen door and all of a sudden you notice there's a crease in the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the same thing can happen to a steel-belted radial. For that reason, there are other fibers, man-made fibers like aramid or fiberglass, that would probably be better in a radial tire than steel. But the problem with those fibers is that they don't handle that well. And steel-belted tires give a much firmer feel on the road, a much surer grip on the road, give you a greater sense of stability than these other kinds of tires. And for that reason, people like the way they handle better, like the way they drive better. And it's much easier to sell them. So the tire companies, in respect, have painted themselves into a corner.
Wow,
they've touted steel-belted radials as being the best thing that you can get.
Voice just like once he gets going about tires, he just hits that like whatever the yap frequency is that like that just like makes me zone out on all these different characters we watch.
Public on it, and now the public doesn't want anything else, so they continue to make steel.
Well, we've talked about construction on tires, but how about the actual tread on the tire? I mean, do they have various types of rubber?
Well, yes, they do. It used to be that rubber came from a tree, and nowadays that's not the case anymore. The rubber that you see in the tire is mostly man-made. It comes from oil. And as an aside, if you were to melt a tire down into its components, you'd probably get a couple gallons of oil out of every tire on your car.
Really?
There's that much petroleum products that go into the construction of a tire.
Now, the old days, real rubber does not get along too well with oil. How about these newer tires?
Well, these new tires are made from oil.
It wouldn't have hurt Candy just to give him a call and just just kind of tell him your situation and just have him give you an overview.
It's still not a good idea to have oil dripping on your tires. There are some oils that will affect them and some oils that won't affect the newer tread rubber compounds. But they've come out with these new rubber compounds mainly to give you better traction and better wear. By having man-made products, the manufacturers can control how a tire is going to wear versus how it's going to perform. You'll get a tire sometimes that will give incredible mileage. It may last 70 or 80,000 miles. But get that tire on a wet road and you might be taking your life into your hands.
It's like ice.
It's like ice. You see some of these real hard rubber compounds in retreaded tires for big trucks where they're carrying a lot of weight. And
should I upload a few Mike Chuddy shorts? See how they do.
Having a soft rubber compound is not a concern. They're concerned with a dense rubber that wears a long time. In passenger cars, it's usually the other extreme. They're mostly concerned with traction. If you can get good wear out of a tire and have good traction, then so much the better. But the main thing is to have a rubber compound that's going to give you good braking ability on a wet road, good cornering on a wet road, and some traction when you get into snow and slush and sleet, things like that too.
Are there tires that handle really well on ice?
Well, yes, there are.
Because that seems to be a problem. Sometimes not so much the snow, but that you get on an icy road and you can't go anywhere.
Ideally, no tire handles really well on ice, and what I say as far as a tire handling okay on ice, you have to take it with a fair amount of consideration as to how fast you're going
and who's driving.
Right. But yeah, they've come out with a new rubber compound called hydrophilic rubber, which is a type of rubber that retains its flexibility,
this is a lot of rubber information.
Its suppleness in very cold temperatures. The older rubber compounds would tend to get really hard as the temperatures decreased, and so they wouldn't have very good traction on icy or slick roads. These new rubber compounds stay...
Tree versus man-made. Which tires are superior? Chuddy alert.
Flexible. And the more flexible a tread, the more tiny little gripping edges can adhere to the...
Mike Chuddy said you could get how many gallons of oil out of a burnt tire? Chuddy alert.
The ice.
It's a softer rubber, but I'm sure there's a trade-off as far as tread wear.
Yes, there is a trade-off as far as tread wear. You don't notice it so much in the winter because you're in these colder temperatures most of the time in the winter. Some of the old snow tires you could run year-round and get decent wear out of them.
QR code. That was a weird pattern.
With the hydrophilic rubber, you definitely want to take them off come springtime because you get them on a 90 or 100-degree highway, and they're going to wear out pretty quick. But they're very good on ice.
Now, how about studs? Would a good all-season tire be better with studs or a hydrophilic rubber tire? Or is it a toss-up?
Ideally, you'd want a hydrophilic tire with studs in it.
And since you have...
George needs help with studs. Chuddy alert.
Have to take the tire off in the summer anyway.
Right, so why not have studs? In this state, they're legal until May 1st. Most of the states around the nation still allow studs to be used, even though it's on a limited basis. And if you're driving out of state with the studded tires on your car, most states will allow you to drive through with your studded tires, even if they're illegal in that state. So
even if you're going to Florida?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about taking your studded tires off and
not for a couple of weeks.
No. When they see the Massachusetts plates, they're probably going to give you a speeding ticket anyway. But
and there's no helping that,
right? No, ideally for wintertime driving, studded.
He really enjoyed that little back and forth.
Tires.
Good for Chuddy.
There are some instances where you don't want studs, though, and one of them is if you're doing a lot of high-speed driving. You'll notice that none of the state police cruisers or town police cruisers run studded tires. And the reason for that is that the studded tires become unstable at very high speeds. So if you're a salesman doing a lot of highway driving, you probably want to stay away from a studded tire. But you could still get decent ice traction by going with one of these new snow tires that has hydrophilic rubber.
Well, Mike, I never thought that tires would be this interesting. There certainly is a lot more than just, going down and slapping some black things on your car and riding around.
Yeah, it takes a fair amount of research, and
wow,
your tire dealers are going to be a person you get to know pretty well by the time you've picked out a good tire for your car. And
so basically, we should tell the folks not to be afraid to ask questions.
No, please ask as many questions as you can.
Imagine a time when you would personally know your tire dealer.
We're not mind readers, and we don't know what you do with your car all the time.
And if the dealer doesn't want to answer the questions, definitely leave the shop immediately.
Go see somebody that will. Yeah.
But really, they should ask questions and just be careful of what they're buying.
Right.
Well, Mike, once again, thanks. It's been interesting, and hope to see you again real soon.
It's been my pleasure.
And we'll be back with more Prime Time right after this. Stay with us.
Oh my God, this interview, I bet we're like at hour 3 by now.
We pledged our allegiance to it when we were young. We studied its importance when we were in our teens. We sing its praises at every sporting event. We display it when we celebrate, lower it when we mourn, and honor our heroes with it when they've fallen. It stands for what we are and what we believe in. How we treat it says a lot about us.
Welcome back to the telecast. And what could be more fitting than the entertainers and God Bless America?
No way.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her,
Beach wagon,
and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet.
True, JF.
God bless America, my home sweet home.
Man.
Now, folks, let me ask you something. Wasn't this the best half hour of your day? Good night, everybody.
It looked like he had it made. I don't have time to watch another George Dorunda, but I want to check in on Savvy Guy. I might have time to watch a Savvy Guy if he's got a fairly short one. Things that culminate self-love. What has having a good spirit done? Okay, here we go. Things that cultivate self-love.
What's going on, guys? Back at you guys with another presentation.
See you later.
Hope you guys
ATM
doing
TV.
okay today. In this presentation here, we're going to talk about why some people don't love themselves. Now, if you're watching this presentation, you probably don't love yourself. But you know what? I'm going to say this. In order for a person to love themselves and value themselves, they first got to have a life that's worth something. See, people who think highly of themselves, people who value themselves, people who respect themselves, people who know their worth, those are people who've had good life experiences. You know, your experiences in life define who you are, you know, and I've said this numerous times, guys, like whatever you experience in life, that's going to determine the type of person you grow into. Experiences make us who we are. If you got bad experiences in life, you gonna feel bad. I mean, that should be common sense. But in order for a person to love themselves, they gotta have good life experiences. When you've had nothing but negative experiences in your life and things didn't go the way you wanted them to go and things didn't work out as planned, you're not gonna feel great about yourself, you know? And I truly feel like when you're a black person, you're not going to love yourself, you know?
Wow, what a statement.
You know, see, if I was a white man, I'd be able to see my worth and I'd be able to love myself. See, and that's just the truth. When you're black, you know, you're going to experience a lot of hell in life. I'm just being honest. See, I'm blunt. I tell it like it is. I'm so honest about stuff, and I think that's why people tend to avoid a guy like me and don't like me, because I'm just too honest. See, I say the things that people feel, but they don't have enough gumption to say it. But I don't care. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. You know, I don't care. That's one thing about me. The things that I say, I'm sure it's a lot of people who feel the same way I do, but they don't have enough nerve to say it. That's why I used to love Baraka McCrae. Nick used to always tell me that he hated himself. That's why I love talking to him, because I like being around people who are in despair, people who down and out. You know?
Wow.
It's a lot of people who down and out in life. It's a lot of people who depressed. It's a lot of people who going through. But you know what? It's all about the experiences that we have in our lives, people. The stuff that we go through in our lives has a deep impact on how we feel and the overall experiences that we go through in life. A lot of that has a tremendous effect on us. You know, it's all about those things that we go through in our lives. And in order for a person to truly be at peace, in order for a person to truly be happy in life, in order for a person to truly have self-love, they got to have good life experiences. See, it's all about the experiences that you have in life, because every experience that you...
Have you ever been to a Savvy Guy Live, Joe? It's really wild.
You have in life, you internalize that. And every experience that you have in life shapes how you see yourself and how you see the world. So with every experience that we have in our lives, that's building a perception. A person's perception of themselves, a person's perception of the world, all of that's cultivated by their life experiences. That's why I say Life of Hell Incorporated, because that's what a lot of us live, a life of hell. And if you're watching this presentation right now, I'm sure you have lived a life of hell. That's why the only type of dudes that I talk to are dudes who...
Yeah, we should have watched that one and then the one after. I think there was another one after that was related to it.
Down and out.
I watched them out of order.
Because it take people who are on your same level of life to understand you. I don't gravitate to people who are at peace in life. I gravitate to people who are emotionally disturbed.
Yeah, like the live streams make these videos look like they're like upbeat and life affirming.
People who are experiencing a lot of hell and pain in life. See, your brain is hardwired to think whatever you go through in your life. So whatever you experiencing in your life, that's going to determine how you think. Negative thinking come from a negative life. Positive thinking come from a positive life. Confidence come from a positive life. Self-esteem come from a positive life.
Going off.
So if you have a negative life, you can't have none of those good qualities. Yeah. People who are happy in life, people who are confident, people...
You think I like to, that I gravitate toward disturbed individuals? I don't think that's true.
People who love themselves, those are people who have a good life. You can't love yourself if you got a bad life. So you got to have good life experiences. I always talk about these life experiences, guys, because see, these experiences is going to determine who you become. These experiences.
Okay, if I ever do try to do Savvy again, I'm going to, I got to remember to I got to have a gas station soft drink.
You know, and I know it's a lot of men that go through things in life, but see, men, we're always taught you got to be tough no matter what. You got to act like everything's good when it's not. That's the sad part about being a man. See, as a man, you can never talk about what really bothers you amongst people. That's why it's good to find, you know, social circles of men who have your same problems and you can vent and talk to them, you know, and that's why it's good to have a camera that you can get in front of to vent your circumstances and your thoughts and your deepest, darkest demons. Because as a man, you don't have nobody to confide in. As a man, don't nobody care about what you're going through. So if you find other men who have your same challenges in life and y'all talk and build a bond, you better hold on to those dudes. But this, it's not rocket science to why some people don't have self-love. In order to have self-love, you got to have a positive life. You can't have self-love, confidence, self-esteem, all of these good things, peace, joy, happiness, all of these good qualities that I'm talking about right now. You can't have any of these qualities if you have a bad life, if you have bad life experiences. Because every experience that you have in life shapes who you become. Every experience that
Man, Savvy is a yapper.
That you have in your life shapes who you become. So if you've had a lot of negative experiences in your life, that's going to shape how you feel. That's going to shape how you see the world, and it's going to shape how you see other people. That's why I say, man, life is a movie, but everybody's movie is different. Everybody's circumstances are different.
While sitting in a Burger King?
Everyone's experiences are different. We don't all experience the same things. That's why one person...
If I start cutting a promo like this in the middle of Burger King, they're going to ask me to leave for sure.
Person's perspective on things can be totally...
Nobody's going to be like at the last minute, hey, wait a minute. Let him cook.
Different from someone else's perspective. And if a person has never weathered the storm that you're weathering, they'll never be able to think on the level that you think on. They'll never be able to think on the level that you think on because their life hasn't been as bad as yours. See, this is why if you live in a bad life, you don't want to talk to people who live in a good life. You don't want to talk to people who have a lot of good experiences in their life. Because I notice people who have a lot of good experiences in their life, they don't understand people who having bad ones. They really don't. This is why it's very imperative that you talk to people.
Well, I did one in kind of more of like a, I want to say rural, but it was like on a on a lakefront. There were some fishermen, so I didn't think they would really care what I said. But when I started saying some of Savvy Guy's like key phrases, like there was definitely like I could feel weird energy.
People that
I'd cut a promo on Grace during it, and the guy definitely was like took interest in that.
Have your same struggle in life. But you guys leave your comments. Let me know what you think about this presentation. This is the reason to why some people, don't feel good about themselves. And I'm glad that I
will say, like, nobody really reacted when I was at Target. When I was at Kroger, they did, but like I'm at that Kroger all the time, so like they all like I'm like a known person there. But like at Target, nobody really paid any mind to the fact that I was streaming in there.
Was talking about the things you need in life in order to feel good.
His 9-year-old cousin, that's why the camera angle's so low.
These are the experiences. These are the qualities that you need in your life in order for you to have self-love. People talk about self-love, but they don't talk about the qualities. They don't talk about the experiences that a person must have in their life in order to have self-love. And that's why I say I truly believe when you're a brother, it's gonna be hard for you to have self-love. Can I get a witness? It's gonna be hard to have self-love.
Oh, you went to Raising Cane's
as a brother, but these are the things these are things that you need to have self-love. You guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.
All right, another great presentation from Savvy Guy. Mildly Kroger famous. Known for vaping in the frozen section. All right, I got to go, though. I appreciate you hanging out. Great episodes from George. Great presentation from Savvy Guy. Amazing. I'll be here tomorrow for Memphis. And then Saturday, I don't know. We've already done Intoxicated Women. We've already done a trash TV. We might have to do another Saturday movie if I can find one. All right, but anyway, thank you for hanging out. I do appreciate it.